Thank you very much for having me. Don't thank me yet.
You have the right to remain silent.
Yeah, I just saw your character expired.
Because it's in a TV. Do you have a single fact to back that up?
You know, this is the one where
Think you're funny?
you understand me?
You need to go get a dictionary.
Oh, and it's starting out on me. All the pressure's right on me from the beginning. Well, that's fine. Hey, everybody. So, to all of our listeners, to all of our viewers, welcome to the Alchemy Point podcast, where we have our good friends, special guests, Ian Sparks and Brad Maderi joining us on the cigar couch over there. So, we didn't really have a topic when we all sat down.
No.
So, we're just going to go fly by the seat of our pants.
We're just gonna do it right.
Is your microphone on? It sounds kind of
Yes,
off.
it is.
Oh, terrific. Wonderful.
This is the issues of doing it live.
Yeah, that's the problem with it.
Yeah, truly. So, gentlemen, let's just start off with let's just talk about Mortal Kombat, because why not? It's coming
ahead.
out. Ian, you said you have already got it downloading on your TV.
Yeah, no, I got it. HBO Max. You can just download it on that app they have now. So I started doing that last night because I was wondering if it was going to come out. And funny enough, Colin had people over last night at midnight
Yeah.
to try to watch it, and it didn't come out. So they had a bunch of people there till like 3 a.m. waiting for it to get released, and it never did. So he wasn't happy about that.
We're not leaving until it's
We're not leaving. But they watched the first 7 minutes, which I haven't seen yet. The first 10 minutes, Scorpion.
Yeah, the Scorpion versus Sub-Zero battle.
Was it good? Did you guys
I
see
don't
it?
watch it.
Okay.
I watched it on my phone at the gym while I was on the elliptical, so my head was like, going up and down, so I'm looking at the screen. And like it was cool, but I didn't like get all amped up after watching it like, oh my god. Like when I first saw the trailer, I was like
You weren't just
clutching
super
my
stoked.
pearls like, holy shit, I cannot wait to see this movie because everything looks
Clutching
like
my
it's
Just want some
everything-
clutch pearls.
everything.
What is that? Can you elaborate on what
Look.
that is, old man?
Look, the point is that the trailer blew me away at first, but then I saw the fight and I was just like, that looks cool, but that looks like so many fights that I've seen before, aside from like a few cool things here and there. But it's like it's okay. Like I'm still gonna go see it and like be wowed by it in a lot of ways, I'm sure. But
Right.
I mean, the trailer, it's just kind of like, the trailer was cool. Scorpion versus Sub-Zero fight was just like cool too, but didn't get me nearly as amped up as the trailer did.
You weren't horny for it.
It wasn't
No, it didn't like blow me away. It kind of looked like a lot of what I had seen before. But then Scorpion got out his spear thing and started doing the spear thing and throwing people around with that. And that was pretty cool and unique. But
you were okay with that.
well, yeah. I'm excited to see more of that spear throwing.
If you don't know, this whole podcast is just me picking on.
No, I'm good with that. I mean, we can do a cyberbully Matt thing.
Yeah,
Is it cyberbullying?
it's,
in front of
yeah,
you,
a
though?
roast of Matt. Sounds good.
If we're on the internet, it's technically cyberbullying, right?
Yeah,
Alex?
sure.
You're the SME, I'm assuming, so I'm just gonna keep looking at you.
I suck.
What's SME stand for again?
Subject matter expert?
Oh, okay. That's what you are.
I'm a genius.
No, that's
Oh.
not what that means. 'Cause
Now
I'm
you're-
an SME on some things.
You're crossing the
but I'm
fucking line.
obviously,
Clearly, not a genius.
So, what did you think? So, you like the first movie, right? What do you think of the first movie?
Yeah, obviously. The first movie, here's a question though. Did they bring the song back? Do you know?
I've heard variations of it.
So like they remastered it?
Yeah, and
The song needs to be there.
I feel like they haven't let the whole thing out of the cage yet. Like they
Okay.
They're still clutching some pearls.
yes,
Christ.
like
Yeah.
you wouldn't believe.
Come
Clutching
on,
them
Brad.
super hard.
Brad,
Brad, are you a Mortal Kombat person?
I was a Tekken person, so I
Did you see that movie?
no. Was there a Tekken movie?
Yeah,
I
Was it
think
really?
we should have Brad.
it was a
right
flyby.
now.
Fight on Tekken or Mortal Kombat or
No,
IRL?
physically fight.
IRL?
we might need to clear the room out, and I'm gonna move out there because I'm not gonna be in the room for Matt to get thrown around.
Yeah, well, we talked about putting you guys in the garage, just like talking to you from there. But I don't know. I guess the technician SME over here couldn't figure out a way to make it work. So
Well, I mean, they could. I'm not running like a headphone line the whole way out there.
kind of breaks the connection a little bit.
A little bit.
Wait, what is it? Why do the microphones sound weird all of a sudden?
It's their mics.
Oh, it's little kid mics.
Little kid mics.
Yeah.
The Walmart mics.
This thing.
Those mics
Wait,
are more
these
expensive than
mics
these
are-
mics are.
Yeah, because this podcast was kind of conjured up pretty fast. Alex had to run out to Walmart and grab some rollback priced microphones.
That's the American dream.
That's not what I did.
That's what you did. You went to Walmart and got headset or
Headphones,
headphones. That's what I meant to say.
not microphones.
I probably should let you guys
Well,
know before we started that I brought a
excuse-
mic and I brought headphones.
That was a good time
Yeah.
to start.
Well,
Yeah, you could always switch to those if you want.
thanks, Ian.
Excuse the fuck out of me, mister.
Yeah. God, now he's just condescending because he's in charge, I guess. Jesus.
Jesus.
Listen, if you want to see whose face is on this podcast, you can go ahead and turn.
Is that you guys? Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
I think you should have photoshopped Ian and Brad's face in there.
I actually thought about
Put their
putting them
face in the smoke.
TV.
That would have been a nice touch.
Yeah,
Would have been.
but sorry.
Missed opportunity.
Sorry.
Anybody watching, if you want to just go and MS Paint us in there real quick,
Just stick
Just-
figures.
throw us on in there.
He started to work on Nikolai, but he was having trouble with the beard, and then he heard he wasn't coming, and then he was just like, "Fuck it, I give up."
None of that is true.
So, hold on. We moved past a very important thing. You asked Brad if he liked Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
and he said Tekken. I feel like we need to address that.
Yeah.
Does anyone have anything to say about Tekken?
No, that's not what I mean.
He's upset
I mean,
about
do
Mortal
you
Kombat,
like
I
Mortal
think.
Kombat or not?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But when I was younger, I played a little bit of Mortal Kombat, but I would like play Tekken, and I remember watching the first Mortal Kombat movie, but I mean, it's been a while. But
Yeah.
I've seen the trailer for the new one, and I was like, well, it looks pretty cool. But I was really always just like a Tekken person. I didn't like follow Mortal Kombat the same way like everybody else did. Like even like when you go to friends for like LAN parties and stuff, like people were like, Mortal Kombat is the shit. And
Right.
like I was like, you guys got Tekken?
The first movie was out, what, like 95? Something like that?
Yeah,
It was
Because I
back there,
specifically, I have a weird
Yeah.
memory where when we first saw as kids, me, Fiona, Colin, and all like the neighbor kids would have like Royal Rumble fights in the backyard.
What?
We'd like beat the shit out of each other, but we all would be our favorite character. It was awesome.
Who was
Good
your
times.
favorite character?
Sub-Zero.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it's a good choice.
Yep.
just a man of ice, dude. I heard he was scary as shit in this movie. I heard like he was like the horror movie character
Version
of
it.
The way the trailer
Of
portrayed
Mortal
him,
Kombat.
Yeah,
like,
didn't he have like teeth
He,
and shit?
he
had,
is.
like,
He's
crazy-
scared. He scares the
Yeah.
shit out of me. The way he's like, I am Sub-Zero.
I know.
He looks scary as fuck. Like I wouldn't want to fuck with him.
I got
looked
a
awesome.
huge you know what when that part happened. I was like, oh. And then
You
I
can
was
say
good.
boner.
Huh?
You can say boner.
I can say boner?
Yeah, sure.
Cool.
Yeah, like squirt. Like I feel like if people,
Squirt.
Squirt.
if you took like a poll,
Right after boner.
Why?
Immediately followed by.
Why'd you say squirt?
I was on a different frequency there. I don't know what the fuck
He has
happened.
no idea what we're talking about.
Do you
He heard boner and
I
then
was
went to
talking
squirt.
about squirts and boners, and I don't know who's
Do you
doing
have
that
another tab open?
in my mind.
Yeah.
No,
Squirt.
There's one.
So out of context.
all I'm saying. Okay, let's say you have a survey and you go around the world, Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat fans, Scorpion or Sub-Zero.
Yeah.
Who's normally the cooler one? You would think most people would vote. Or do you not have an opinion on
Are you asking who between the two?
anybody like
I feel like people quote Scorpion the most with like "Get over here."
Oh yeah, for sure.
anyway,
Yeah.
I feel like people love Scorpion more. That's not like my particular vote, although I don't know which one I would pick, but it just feels like Scorpion's the one that gets most of the talk and the praise. And so, but I kind of found Sub-Zero stealing the show in the trailer. I mean, he like shattered Jax's arms. He was
Yeah.
all fucking scary with that close up and his
Yeah.
eyes and everything.
Yeah, I'm
So-
looking forward to seeing it. It should be good. I mean, it's hard to just don't make it like Armageddon and we'll be fine.
Yeah. or no, Annihilation.
Annihilation, that's what it was.
Uh,
yeah. Not, was
We have to
Armageddon
watch
even a
that
movie?
too. It's got to be a 3-movie
Yeah,
event.
It's okay.
Me and Alex were going to watch all 3 Mortal Kombat movies. He's just
Yeah.
dying.
We watched
Ready.
the Justice League, so the 2017 version,
Not the Snyder cut, the old
right?
one.
And then the next day or the day after that, we watched the Snyder cut and did a podcast on that. That was intense, like really intense to sit through.
Why?
Well, one's 2 hours and then the other's 4 hours.
Well, and didn't they say like 30% of the Snyder cuts in slow motion?
I would believe that.
Yeah, I read.
I could see that.
Yeah, there was something in
Yeah.
someone did a report on it. It was like 30% slow motion.
Well,
That's
just like
really interesting.
yeah,
I wish I would
Fact
have
check me.
paid more. Well, no,
Fact
I
check.
wish I would have paid attention more to just the slow motion at that point. Then
But like,
Yeah.
it wasn't as much of a chore as I thought it would be. Well, getting through the fucking Justice League was a royal pain in the ass. I hated that fucking movie so much. Because you could just see it was studio butchered dog shit. It was like the
It was bad.
finest example of a studio interfering and fucking everything up. And I know that there was like things that came out of nowhere that like Zack Snyder had to step away and they had to like but they like went about it the completely wrong way.
Why did he step away again?
I think his son died or his daughter
somebody
died.
in his family died,
Oh,
and so he was like, "I can't do this."
So the studio's like, we got to get someone in here that knows how to do this shit. Who's that guy that just did Avengers?
I thought,
Joss
someone got in
Whedon.
I thought someone got in trouble for something on Twitter, and then eventually they came back. They were like, "No, he didn't do anything." I thought that was a whole thing. Was that
That's James Gunn.
That's it. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay.
That's Guardian of the Galaxy.
Oh
guy.
yeah.
But yeah, you are right with that. It was some like racist thing, I think.
Yeah.
And it was like old James Gunn, and then he like apologized for it. He got fired, and then a whole petition or something came out. It was like,
it wasn't
hey,
like-
you got to
it wasn't
rehire
like
him.
Blatantly racist. What I remember was social media racist, and
I think, I don't think it was just
like-
straight up. It was just like,
like a joke.
I think
gone
someone's
wrong.
taking this out of context.
Yeah,
and
like
then
that kind of thing. I
it
don't
got-
remember, so I might be wrong. I'm
Yeah.
just spitballing, but
I don't remember the full details. I know it was something, I guess I could say minor, but
yeah, I don't know.
But anywho,
So wait, who's your favorite character then, Matt?
I feel like I want to say Johnny Cage just because they cut him out of the fucking movie this time.
They did? You know
Yeah,
what? Okay, got it. Fair enough.
yeah.
Johnny Cage.
Johnny.
Yeah, my favorites would be Kung Lao probably, just because of that hat and the way he throws it.
Okay.
He's pretty creative with that hat.
What about you, Alex?
I've always been a huge fan of Scorpion, but that's kind of like the throwaway answer, I guess. Yeah.
I'm a basic bitch.
I need that as a sound bite. I need that maybe be my. I want that to be my text sound. Or every time you say something silly, I hit that button. It'd be like an Alex Jones clip.
Brad, who's your favorite Tekken character and Mortal Kombat character?
Okay, I'm gonna go with Mortal Kombat first. I'm gonna say Ermac, right? He's a
Yeah,
Mortal Kombat
yeah.
character.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go
Yeah.
Ermac, and mostly because our buddy Joey Buttram,
Butcher him.
his cousin, he had his little cousin over when we were kids. I used to go over there all the time, and he had these two cousins, and like I don't know, they were like, I don't know, maybe one was 14, one was 12, and we were playing Mortal Kombat downstairs in the basement. And he, just kind of like you messed up earlier saying squirt like randomly, we were fighting, and like his cousin was like, he was trying to say, I want to see you blow him up with Ermac.
Yeah,
And he's like, I want to see you blow Ermac. And like, we just like, we would not drop it. Like, I mean, we were like shithead 16-year-old kids. So we're like out in the pool later, and we're like, you want to blow Ermac? And, yeah. So now it's like kind of infamous. And now like I'll just see Joey sometimes, and I'll be like, bro, I want to see you blow Ermac. I'm like,
Yeah, well, you do know Ermac is made up of many souls, so it's many dicks, therefore.
damn, that's a lot of dicks.
Yeah. Did you ever know? Mine.
Is that why it's your favorite?
So hot.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know. That could be it.
Where's the soundboard?
This is why we need
This
it.
is exactly.
That could be
Uh,
why. I'm not sure. Dude.
And then Tekken, I would have to go. All right, Yoshimitsu's cool, but I'm probably gonna say Jin because you could turn into Devil Jin.
He's the main character of the movie. Not that they did him much justice. I
The
mean,
Tekken one.
yeah.
Yeah, Jin's the coolest, or Kazuya, his cousin. But I'm gonna go Jin and go Devil Jin. That'd be dope.
I didn't play Tekken a lot. Is that the one with the incestuous father and daughter?
Yes, yes.
Wow, you know exactly what I was talking about.
You knew-
Yeah,
Tell me about
Hihachi.
their backstory.
I did not know about this.
I don't
one.
Go
remember.
into detail, please.
I really
I
don't
just go
remember.
right to arcade
but
mode.
it is all fucked up. Yeah, right,
They're
right.
not actually incestuous, but it's like
It's, like,
really
pretty much like
uncomfortable.
that.
The animations were really odd,
Yeah,
very uncomfortable. I remember that as a kid thinking,
yeah.
that's not right.
Yeah, well, it's like 90s
Something's
Japanese
confusing.
cutscenes, so it's like really
You
sketchy.
know, they like look into each other's. I remember them looking into each other's eyes, and it's really weird.
Is it just like too intimate?
Sort of.
like scenes.
And I think there is like a whole bunch of like weird family stuff that's supposed to go on anyway, because like Kihachi is related to Kazuya and Jin and this character Michelle, who I think is like their cousin or something. I don't know. It's been a long
Yeah.
time since I
I
played.
like how they all have exotic names and
Yeah,
there's
and then it's just
fucking Vector in
Michelle.
the corner.
Yeah.
So we've covered Mortal Kombat, we've covered Tekken, but the trifecta of fighting games. What about Street Fighter? How do we feel about Street Fighter?
I didn't play a whole lot of Street Fighter, to be honest with you.
Nobody. I'm the only
I
one.
played with Joey. It's the same person. I played Street Fighter a little bit with him, but
Yeah.
not a whole bunch. Just enough to say Hadouken over and over again and make your friend really mad because you won't let him get up because you keep shooting Hadoukens at him.
I
Yeah.
do remember that.
And then somebody breaks the controller and then you go outside.
No.
Yeah, there's a lot of that Street Fighter tournament, Mortal Kombat tournament going on at MagFest that me and Alex go to
Yeah.
quite a lot, and people get pretty intense over it.
What's
Yeah.
what's Magfest? I've never been.
That's the well, Alex is the
So-
one that like told me about it.
It's a music and gaming festival.
Okay.
So it's Mag Fest. Basically, they set up like 4 warehouses full of arcade games. Like one is all arcade games, one is all console games, one's all like indie games where like some like weird fringe developers will show up and just be like, "Hey, play my game. This is where you can play it." And then they have like a marketplace. So you do that like all day.
Okay.
And while that's happening, there's like some music talent happening, but then like in like evening to like 2 a.m. time, it's all music and any type of music you can think of. EDM, rock, piano, violin,
K-pop?
anything.
No K-pop.
But it's all game related. So it's
Interesting.
just like the coolest thing. I don't know.
Are they having it this year?
I'm not sure yet.
Mm,
2020 or 2021 was canceled because it's always the first weekend in January.
Mm.
So it won't be until I guess it was canceled for 2 years then.
I think it was. Yeah.
Yeah, it may have been canceled for 2 years.
Suck.
Any idea where it's supposed to be?
It's
it is.
always at the Gaylord Hotel and Resort.
In DC?
Yep.
Yep, I've been there.
Yeah, right.
You can see
Virginia,
the
Maryland.
monument
The
from-
National Harbor.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep, yep.
I'm familiar. That hotel is beautiful.
Yeah, it's awesome. Listen, if you listen,
Listen.
I know. Listen, I'm a basic bitch.
Listen.
That's gonna be my thing now. So I thought that I was a little bit of a nerd. I am not.
Nope.
Not when you go to this place.
Mm-mm.
Not even close.
Mm-mm.
Not even on the scale.
Mm-mm.
It is like you walk through the door. There's like, the front desk, and there's 4 men in dresses
Mhm.
with foxtails trying to get their
Mhm.
room.
They're
And
fucking Sailor
over
Moon.
here, yeah, the Mega Man is running by trying to get his friends, and then like the whole cast of every Final Fantasy game walks up the escalator, and you're like, wow, this is fucking awesome.
Are they Naruto running too, I assume?
Oh,
There's definitely some.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Mortal Kombat, this guy legitimately almost got into an actual fist fight because
Did?
he was wearing a reptile. Oh boy.
oh, yeah.
I was like, Scorpion Sub-Zero.
I don't remember this fist fight.
Reptile. Don't you remember the guy on the street? They were all like dressed. They were all like scorpions or something.
Yeah, but they
And
were
you-
nice.
And you were reptile, and that no, and the one guy was drunk.
Oh, the one was fucked up and crazy.
And he
Yeah,
started like verbally attacking Matt for being reptile.
Yeah.
It's just like
I love those.
I vaguely remember
who in
that.
their right mind is ever going to say, one day I may see cosplay versions of reptile
I
and
cannot
scorpion
wait.
fight.
Didn't I try to take pictures with him?
Yeah, I think
Like he
so.
wanted to fight me. I was like, let's just take pictures.
It doesn't sound like you either read the situation right.
Right.
Or, I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think like I was like, yeah, do a kick, and he actually like kicked me in the knee. Like, why'd you do that?
No, it's
that was my plan for being headbutted that day.
to-
That was my karma.
for me, it's like the most magical place, just because it's hard to describe.
You definitely get some kind of
It
feeling
really
there.
is.
Yeah.
I'd like to go. I'd like to see it.
Of
Well,
nostalgic euphoria for
if-
sure.
Oh, I
Whenever they listen, we go, a mutual friend of ours, Cody Bishop, shout out. He probably never watches this. So he has a buddy named Brian who is like really into the whole like crowd. He was like ranked on Super Smash Bros. Country, like he's
Wow.
he's known His gamer tag is
People
Techie.
know me.
Techie, yeah. People literally will walk by us while we're walking, be like, "Hey, Techie,"
Yeah,
and like Brian's like, "I have no idea who that was,"
Yeah.
but they know him from
Wow.
some random tournament.
yeah.
But he always gets a hotel room, and we're always trying to make it as cheap as possible and just stuff as many people into a hotel as possible.
Yeah.
And he's
Sounds like every
really
Friday night.
I'm a basic bitch. But he is trying to get like the hotel rooms sell out like 10
Right,
minutes
the Gaylord's
in,
already super
in the
expensive.
Gaylord, yeah. So we've been trying to get a balcony room for years, and it'll be super easy. Well, it'll be a little bit easier the more people we get, because obviously the cost will be,
Mhm.
a little bit more easy to swallow.
It'd be pretty easy
Grow
to
up.
swallow,
I'm
yeah.
sorry.
Grow up.
I'm a basic bitch.
Swallowing at the Gaylord.
But
Blowing
yeah.
Ermac.
I'll be sure not to wear that next year.
Yeah, don't be Ermac.
We don't want you to get any
Or be
ideas.
Ermac. I mean,
We've also
Well,
talked about
Apparently, I better not be reptile or Ermac.
going as like a group cosplay for years, and we've never done it. But
Sub-Zero, I'll go with you. That'd
I
be
just
fun.
think it'd be like I think one of the funniest group cosplays to date was there was like probably a group of like 5, 6, 7 people dressed up all in Team Rocket uniform and would literally just go around wreaking havoc. Like it was ridiculous. It was ridiculous. Like at one point was that a year you went? Do you remember?
I don't remember them.
So I just vividly remember Team Rocket flooding into this like I can't remember what music was playing. It was probably some rock band, but somebody had like a blow up killer whale and just tossing it through the crowd. Everybody was having an awesome time. Team Rocket showed up, took that killer whale, popped it, and ran out of the auditorium with it.
did they
No.
sing the song?
No.
Damn it.
Yeah, what's the point?
Right.
Yeah, really.
It's like,
But,
it's like a darker universe where they just
Yeah.
murder the shit out of the Pikachu
Right.
instead of
Yeah.
stealing it.
Yeah.
it was awful, but it's a magical world.
I thought you were gonna say they jumped on the
Sounds like
stage and like fucked up the music.
Yeah,
No.
sang the Team Rocket song and everything. That'd have been
Oh
They
yeah,
probably would have got kicked
to
off.
protect the world from devastation.
dope.
They just
Keep
come
going.
down.
Yeah.
I want to see if I can remember it.
Yeah,
To
go.
unite all peoples within our nation.
Yep.
To defend the honor of truth and love. To
Yep.
protect our people from the stars above.
Yep.
Well, dude.
Jesse James. Team Rocket blast off at the speed of light. Surrender now. Prepare to fight, motherfucker.
They did the same
That last
motherfucker.
part was
I
not
remember
in
the
there, but-
motherfucker part.
I do remember the motherfucker.
Especially.
I think it was in the
I
Japan-
remember that. It
a
was in the
Japanese version.
unrated version.
Yeah.
They had to cut that episode. Yeah.
Speaking of Pokemon, I even sent something to Ian. I've been buying and
Cards?
selling Pokemon cards
Yes.
on eBay, and I have been killing it.
Aaron is doing that. They have blouse.
Dude,
Really?
it's
Yeah.
crazy.
How does that work?
Like
It's
Like,
it's
what's
in
your-
a crazy
it's a
bubble.
thing again.
It's in a super crazy bubble. All the cards are, all the nostalgia stuff is, but especially cards. So I got into I had a bunch of sports cards. I found my old Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I found my Dragon Ball Z cards. And it really, honestly, it started with I found them and I was like, I just want to sell this shit all in one go. Just
Yeah.
buy the whole lot. I don't care. You can break it down and whatever. But then I started an eBay and I was like, oh, well, I can't make a big sale because eBay doesn't want to let you sell they have a
Right.
seller limit when you first get on to try and curb people getting their account banned and then starting a new one and being a scammer and scamming somebody for 20K on a brand new account. So I was like, okay, I'll sell 5 or 10 cards, get my seller limit up. Long story short, I ended up just falling down the rabbit hole and selling a bunch of cards and making money. And then I started, I'm checking comps is what you call it, just comparable cards or even anything close, but usually you want to get the same card. And I started checking and then I started seeing trends with ones that are somebody sold it for $5 and then you
Yeah.
see another one sold for 65 or 600 and you're like, okay, well, some people clearly don't know what's going on here. So you're just going on and taking advantage of the lower for sale items and bidding and getting them. And then you buy them and you just literally put them up that day. I have a ring light and I put them in their little card protectors, take nice pics.
What do you? Why? What's with people? They look up I want a Charizard.
No,
It's
for real.
it's a bunch of things.
Ever since Pokemon Go started to become more of a thing, and then it was YouTube
Mhm. Yes.
popularity with cards,
Yeah,
physical
Jake Paul.
cards, Jake Paul specifically being one,
Mhm,
and then a couple smaller channels
mhm.
started getting like high views, and like from that point on,
Yeah,
physical cards are like
bubble.
a thing now again.
all of it. I just sold all three. I found my silver version, I found red version, and I found fire red. I just sold all three of them for 100 a piece, and then I sold my Game Boy for $60, and they all sold within a week.
Like your
Oh,
OG
nice.
Game Boy?
My Game Boy Color, so not even, or no, Game Boy Advance, not even like the tall thing, like that little
Yeah,
sideways
The
joint.
sideways, yeah.
Yeah.
I still have my yellow Game Boy Color.
Yeah, I
The
guarantee you. Oh
the
yeah,
Pokemon Yellow version.
yeah. I was gonna say it's a
That's- I
Pokemon.
was gonna
Dude,
say
I
that's
bet you that one
Pokemon,
I
sold.
still have it buried somewhere. I should
Yeah.
dig that thing out.
Dude,
I know
it's crazy, and
mint.
it's exactly what you said. It's
Yeah.
it's Jake Paul, it's the influencers, it's people being our age, 30, finally being able to buy the things that you couldn't buy when you were.
Yeah, for
12.
that, yeah, that's a huge thing.
Yep.
It's like all of a sudden the adults that wanted this stuff as kids and didn't get it have the money. So it's like
In a
what the hell?
pandemic, when
What
you're
the
stuck in
hell?
your house
Yeah.
getting free money
And
from
the
the government.
yeah, and the government just keeps sending money out.
Yeah,
Apparently.
I'm not complaining.
yeah. Hey, Biden, don't
We
stop.
will. We will in like 20 years when inflation just
Yeah.
That's what my father-in-law is like. My grandkids are really good.
He's like, "Yeah, screw this up."
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
milk's gonna be like $35.
Yeah,
We're gonna be
for
like one of
real.
those countries where like you go there and it's like that's 40 million yen. You're like,
Venezuela.
Jesus, they just spent $40 million, and they're like, that's like $3.
Yeah.
Venezuela or like 1930s Germany, where we had a wheelbarrow
Yeah.
of money.
Yeah.
Or Dogecoin. I don't know.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's like Dogecoin, like probably bigger
I think it
than.
just crashed again, though, didn't it?
Well, yeah, I think it did. Well, it's gonna
Today?
do that.
Uh,
No, the other day.
Oh yeah, it did.
It was
It's
going-
still on a
it
downward
crashed,
trend. Yeah,
but-
like
You watch certain YouTube videos, if it drops 2 cents, it's a crash.
Yeah, right,
It's
right.
not really a crash.
I mean, do you guys see that like being adopted as a world
God,
currency
here we
that's
go.
used?
Dude, Doge
Well,
or
like,
crypto?
Crypto.
Some kind of digital
well,
currency.
No,
yeah.
like I specifically Doge because crypto, like it's almost like a for sure thing. I mean, how is it not at this point? It's like it's a bullet train and the handle's broken off basically. Like it's not going to go back the other way all of a sudden.
I don't know
So,
about Doge
yeah,
being.
But what about
necessarily one.
Doge?
I mean, I
Do you see
think
that
Doge will get
lasting?
wrapped into one. Like, I think Doge will be kind of like we were talking about earlier with XRP being investigated or having this court battle. I think we'll see like what happens with XRP and then see what precedence is set, and then maybe from there. I mean, this is like, I think we're in wild West territory with this kind of thing,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
whatever happens from here will start laying the foundations, like the .com era, like Y2K, 2000, 1999.
Yep.
People were just buying domain sites and all these things, and then like now you fast forward 20 years, and it's like everybody knows how the game works, like all of the common scams, and if you click on this site, like you're not really the 10 millionth winner. You
If
didn't
it's
just visit
all
this
in
site.
Russian, you're
Right.
probably in the wrong
Yeah, you're like,
spot.
I don't know if I want them to have my IP address. But yeah, I think we're right there, and then I think I think Doge will probably just get absorbed into a much larger
Yeah.
currency.
digital
Yeah,
currency.
yeah, like some sort of financial structure will start to come along.
Because I can see it being
agree with
used because there was a certain gaming. I don't know even hardly what I'm talking about here, but it was some kind of like gaming
Me,
company
everybody.
that adopted it, and like you can use it, I guess, to buy your character's armor or
Wow.
DLC and stuff with Dogecoin.
That's a good point.
So I can see it being used like, hey, we're gonna buy our kids some Dogecoin so that when they grow up into teenagers, they can like, I don't know, use it for DLC. I mean, it's a different like world we're entering now.
That's definitely. I have a 7-year-old, and that is definitely what I'm
Yeah.
thinking about right now.
It's a
Like,
coin with a
right.
She
dog.
needs
It's like,
DLC for her game,
yeah, it's a coin.
not a college
It's
tuition.
a real life.
It's a coin with a dog on it, like, and people fucking love dogs,
Yeah.
and it's already got the name. So like, I kind of, and it's already made such a reputation for itself.
It's
And-
hard to argue the dog logic.
Yeah,
It does have a dog on it.
Well,
which is,
yeah, that alone, like,
And not to be punny,
The
but
story
it
behind
is
it,
like
too.
the underdog thing
Mhm.
where it's like, oh, there's this guy.
Nice.
Shut up, Ian.
Nice.
There is this like weird thing with it, like it. Where is the value in this thing? But people love to put money into like the underdog.
Yes.
And so I think that's what we're seeing.
Mhm.
And that's why I think there's potential for it to be like a lot greater than what it is,
Mhm.
to the point where, yeah, like all cryptocurrency is adopted into some type of standard
hmm
definition,
sure.
whether it be all based off of Bitcoin or not,
hmm
which everything kind of is already.
hmm
But you know, it's either Bitcoin or like the US dollar is
Yeah.
what it comes down to at this point.
Well,
But
I don't know if you guys heard, but China is talking about developing their own digital currency.
Well, don't they own most of the Bitcoin farm?
I don't know. I don't know if they own the farm, but I mean, either way, they want to develop like a brand new digital currency, and the whole intent basically is to circumvent the U.S. like government sanctions and things like that. So,
all right,
like the other day, the U.S. government was first basically said like, well, that's not great,
Right.
Yeah.
because one, it's China, it's a totalitarian government, but
Yeah.
right.
it could help like Libya and Syria and all those other assholes skirt any kind of economic pain. But it does kind of show like the future is probably going to go that way in some capacity.
right.
Mhm.
They're not going to replace the dollar with Chinese currency because no one trusts the Chinese currency.
Right.
But a digital currency that technically doesn't have a state, even though it does, is a little more attractive. So I'd be
Yeah.
worried about that. But
Mhm.
China
That makes sense because that is kind of like the other side
Mhm.
or
Yeah.
like the other edge of the sword.
That's
Mhm.
that's the thing. It's a little harder to know. I'm not obviously an expert, but
Right.
I do remember reading that, and even I was kind of like, well, they've been trying to come up with ways to circumvent the dollar for a while.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's going
Mhm.
to happen in this decade, but maybe
I-
next. You know.
I totally agree. I think that is a big part of why crypto is big. Like, I mean, if you get super conspiratorial on this, it sort of seems like some cogs have been set in motion to sort of line this up to be a thing. I mean, people have talked about like New World Order and a one world currency for a long time now.
Yeah.
And it seems like we've been sort of pumping the stocks here to get the crash to happen, to crash the dollar, to crash the world economic market as a whole,
Right.
and then pick up the pieces with this sort of plan you kind of already had set. Like, oh yeah, well, conveniently
This
we already had
new-
this.
Yeah, this new better than anything.
Yeah,
we've
exactly.
seen.
Look
Yeah.
at what's going on over here. We already set this stuff up. Great. Let's just move
Right.
into that.
See, I see it more as like then governments take advantage of a bad situation. Like
Possible.
so like all the utility bills, they've all shot up, right?
Right. Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, well, more people are working at home, so we're using more gas and
Yeah,
water and all that bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But as soon as everything's back to normal, the
Yeah.
prices will not go back down to where they
Right.
were.
Right.
They'll be like, no, this is normal.
right.
Like, what do you mean?
They passed what, a 1.7 trillion. I don't know what the bill was, the $1 trillion bill,
It was a lot
And
of
it was-
money.
buried with a bunch of other bullshit
Yeah.
that no one paid attention to.
I know, right?
And I was
That's
like,
because everybody was like, what,
everyone got a check in the
$1,400?
mail, or everyone got a check in their account.
$1,400?
Right.
Give them
Alright.
their money, they'll shut the fuck up.
One
Yeah,
week's
no, it's
paycheck.
True, though.
Bring it
It is,
on.
it is cheaper to pay people what seems like a grand amount of money
Mhm.
and get them to shut up
Yeah.
over like it just hides
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah. I'm constantly hoping I trip and fall in a Walmart so they will pay me some sort of money.
I mean, we
To
can
get me to shut
we
up.
can arrange you
Look,
falling.
give me a
Dude,
couple more beers.
I
We'll
know
go down to
someone who
Walmart
makes
right
a
now.
living like that. Like they just like
me their
look
number.
for people that are wearing expensive jackets or have
We need a
expensive
name and
purses.
a number now.
Yeah. Are they
Cars.
hiring?
They'll get themselves hit by cars
Are
on
they
purpose.
hiring? Are they hiring?
Yeah, they'll teach you how to take a fall and everything.
Yeah, go on Live Leak and look at China.
Yeah.
There's
Right. When
hundreds of
in front of the
videos,
cars. They're so
Hundreds of
bad.
people,
Oh, yeah.
people like lining up in highways, like
Yeah.
one by one,
Yeah,
to die in
that
front of
just
the car.
stand in front of the car.
My favorite one is this one lady. She dies in front of a car way too early.
Yeah.
So the car stops. And then she literally like stop, drops, and rolls into the wheel of the car sitting there. And then she like writes in pain. And the guy gets
Oh,
out,
you
like
hit me.
looks at her, backs up the car, and then just like drives around her.
It's like, you
Um,
know what you
But
did.
there was a thing, like I think it was in Japan, where if you did hit someone with your car, you didn't just owe them money; you owed like their family money for a long time.
Oh, man, that
So, like,
family honor.
10
Yeah,
years of
right.
servitude.
I think
Or
it was
commit
Japan.
seppuku.
But hit and,
Call it a
hit and
day.
runs were like so good. But hit and runs like shot up like crazy because they were like, "Oh, I'm not going to pay
Right.
for this grandkid's college," you know?
Right. If I can
Opportunists will take the
if
opportunity.
if I can if I can lose a lung and pay for my kid's college, whatever.
Yeah, it's
I
too
mean,
tempting
we're
to some people.
We're on our
Whatever.
way out anyway. So
Yeah, I
whatever.
mean,
But yeah, so like me, I'm like less like, oh, it's a grand conspiracy because that's what people say. COVID's fake. It's, oh,
Yeah.
the government planted COVID, or the Democrats went to
no, I
COVID,
don't think
went to
that.
China to coordinate COVID, and then launch it to disrupt Trump. I'm like,
Right.
Ugh,
That
that
seems like
seems
way
ridiculous.
too
But-
much.
Well, I have my brother-in-law works where Frederick. What's the base in Frederick?
Fort Detrick.
For
Dietrich.
That's the biological research.
Yeah, he
institute.
works there, and he's like, God, for years we've
Mhm.
had COVID.
Right.
This is nothing new.
Right.
No,
He's
it's-
like, they've been testing COVID forever.
Yeah.
And he's like, they send company emails out like they're proud of things, like of discovering stuff. And he's like, but he also is not conspiracy like theorist. Like he does know that this was like probably some sort of leak or accident of some extent in China.
I agree that.
But like this actual disease is nothing new.
Right.
And that's where you get this like weird gray like crossing
there's
of the
always
wires.
a grain of truth in every conspiracy. Like, even like Alex Jones is crazy as shit. Like
exactly.
Everyone, like he'll say 10 crazy sentences.
Yeah.
And then the 11th sentence, you're like,
oh yeah,
like, shit.
Damn, he got that one.
Yeah.
But he makes the best soundboard. So
yeah, he does. Yeah, no, I think you're totally right. Like I think that's exactly what it was. I think it got out of somewhere like an NIH type thing in China. But I don't like when people say like they made it, like who would want to just stop everything that we're doing? Like nobody would have been on board for this.
She flew over there and she did it herself.
Right.
Well,
AOC was there
that's a
too.
good question for either one of you, because I've picked Matt's brain forever about this.
Slim pickings.
Well, it's kind of
Ooh.
it's just kind of like something we talk about forever.
Give me a
But
hug. Give me a hug.
Come here, Scott.
Virtual
Come
hug.
Come to daddy.
but
Get over here. Don't run from your
at
father.
what point do you think like something like that would happen?
Which part?
Like, okay, so the conspiracy theorists are like, hey, this was also like China, USA were working together. We gave it to, there were like, I even read an article where it's like US scientists visited the Wuhan lab weeks before this.
Yeah.
And so obviously US and China is working to, like, at what point do you say that's actually plausible and what is not?
Well, so in situations like that, what's going on? We're getting invaded?
Your background went away. You want me to fix it?
Oh.
Fix it.
Sure, I'll fix it.
No.
Just bring the remote over here.
Try not to cough in the
Please.
mic. Am I covering it?
It's okay, you smoker.
I've got the black
I got
lung.
the black lollipop. Where you going, buddy? He doesn't even try to. Whatever. So what I was
He
saying
doesn't
though,
touch anymore. he's not vulnerable.
but that thing, like, that's a prime example
Yeah.
because people will say like, oh, there was a U.S. warship that did something in like the Indian Ocean, and it's very unusual. But then if you actually look, they've been doing that for years.
Right.
Like U.S. scientists have visited that facility
Right.
before because there
It's
were
just
leaks
this
there
like
before.
one-time thing where someone's like, I saw this.
So like
So this has to make
so like,
sense.
there is a connection, but like
Right.
when you back out and look at it from like, let's say the
Yeah.
past 30 years, they
Right.
visited it before and it didn't
Right.
result in this.
It's not really actually
You know,
suspicious.
but it also implies a level of organization and competence that doesn't exist in the U.S. or Chinese government. Like
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like
right.
like it's the same with people are like, oh, the Democrats did it. I'm like, if you look, what?
Right.
Either of the
They couldn't
public,
pull this
either
off.
of the parties, they can't pull off a
Yeah.
rally. They can't do
Right.
that.
Right.
They don't
We
have the
can't even get them
intelligence.
to come
or the-
together on a bill.
Right.
Like,
and then there's the theory that like if enough people are involved in a conspiracy, it's impossible to keep secret. I forget what it's called. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
Yeah.
It's,
yeah.
it's like 9/11. Like
Yeah.
they like to say all the people that would have to be involved and none of them are saying anything.
right.
They say it's literally impossible.
It's impossible. For
It's a theory, but I mean,
9/11 still gets it. I do fall in the like 9/11 conspiracy.
I'm not going to go down that path with you.
I know.
But
We've got plenty of time.
no, I
Jet
won't.
fuel, steel beams. Let's go.
Oh, Jesus.
Let's do it. Let's start. How many kelvins does it melt at?
What was
What's a
that?
Kelvin?
What was that whole video? It was what what was that whole
love you, buddy.
video called? It was like the penny something.
Penny.
I don't remember. Maybe I'm completely wrong.
Maybe you're a basic bitch.
Shots fired. Shots fired.
Was it like a conspiracy thing?
It was like the video.
Like Zeitgeist?
Yeah,
I know what
hold
you're
on, let me
talking
look
about. I
it.
don't know the name of it.
You keep talking about
No.
conspiracies.
That was
I'm
my
like,
thought though about what you were saying. So
Uh-huh.
I don't know if you had anything different, but that's my theory with that shit.
Yeah, I've always thought that 9/11 was
No, not that
I
one.
had too many coincidences. Just with the previous stuff with Saddam and the regime over there, then Saddam trying to go around the petrodollar and us obviously taking that as an insult when he was like, yeah, I'll take other currencies and blah, blah. And we were like, no, you're going to kind of play by our rules. And it just seemed like a false flag. And like, it's not like we haven't done false flags before. You can look up Operation Northwoods. You can look up all these things where we're like, we were planting things to incite doing whatever we were going to do.
It's called loose change.
Loose change. Okay, you were close.
Sorry, I was like, it's got to be pennies because pennies are
Right.
worth nothing.
I haven't heard the Stom connection. I haven't heard that theory.
Yeah, I think I put that together myself. I went and
Oh,
I've done
That
the
explains why
deep
it's so
dig.
loose.
That's why it's loose.
Got it.
Yeah, it's very loose.
No, like my opinion, just the only conspiracy I think really for 9/11 is that Saudi Arabia was involved and they won't acknowledge it.
Right. Which is
That's
weird.
what I think.
Yeah.
Personally,
I think there's
But-
some weird stuff. And then who was that guy? There was a big like Wall Street guy who, literally the week of it happening, took out this gigantic insurance policy.
That was the owner of the building.
right on the building.
Yeah, but
And
I
like
think
there
they-
wasn't backdoor information, like whether it was from us or from them or whatever. What a crazy time to just happen to go, you know what? I've owned these buildings for a long time.
That's where I would like someone to sit me down and be like, okay, here are the actual odds
Objective
of someone
facts.
doing this at the right time before something bad happens.
But they did. Didn't they debunk the whole insurance thing? I thought that they nailed that to the ground.
I mean, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean, there's
To
so
the
much
point- to the point-
misinformation.
You can do anything
To
with
the point
paper.
where
Yeah.
no, but I mean, like to like beyond reasonable doubt.
You
Right,
may be
right.
correct.
I don't remember. It's been so long, and honestly,
Yeah.
I don't even go down the 9/11 conspiracy.
I try
path
not to
because
either. It's got a
everything-
bunch of misinformation on either side because there's people that fall on either side of the argument that
They're
vehemently
making
disagree
COVID
or
to make
agree.
the frogs gay. We need to focus
Is
on
it?
that.
Alex Jones, come back.
One conspiracy at a time.
Right.
Right. Alex Jones would tell you all this. They didn't tell nothing. They didn't tell anybody anything.
He's been to the Grove.
Right. I've been to the Grove.
been there.
I stood on 9/11.
That is
and
a
the
true
Grove.
story. He 100% did
He
that.
did the
shit.
Grove. I
Which I
gotta
thought
give him
was
that.
really
That is some crazy stuff.
Fun fact. They also, I think that group declared like bankruptcy or something. Like they're about to fall
Oh,
apart.
that's surprising.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh. That
Fun
was
fact.
Alex Jones, hard-hitting reporting. There it is. You heard it here, folks.
Reporting with every other letter capitalized. Yeah.
Exactly.
Shit, gentlemen, all I got to do is mention Mortal Kombat, and this is where it goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it went dark quickly.
Yeah,
you
dude.
said get over here, and you didn't even say it in the voice. Did you pick up on that? I
Shame
made a
on
face
me.
at
I
you.
didn't. I'm sorry.
Shame on me.
You guys-
Here's- No, here's your redemption on camera. Go.
Get over here!
Damn, that was
You
good.
sound like Neutral Drop.
I wish you would have done the
You ever watch that?
echo
You guys know
effect.
what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, you ready?
Oh god, it's not gonna be.
That's really good.
Sorry, audience. I didn't mean to fuck up your
He
drums.
started to me.
Oh, here we go.
No, I don't mean
That was
sorry to you. I
impressive.
mean sorry to our listeners.
Oh, it came through the Walmart headphones and damaged my brains.
Yeah. That's
Hell
hard
yeah.
to do.
One of my going back to conspiracy theories, one of my favorites right now because it's just the most bogus thing I've ever heard is the birds aren't real. Have you heard any of this?
That's
I've heard
hilarious.
that
It's
one.
the funniest thing
Yeah.
I've
And,
ever seen.
Finland's
Yeah.
not real.
Finland?
There's no such thing
I've
as a country
heard
Finland.
that vaguely.
Is it Finland or I think it's Finland.
Yeah.
No such thing. Also, the Dark Ages never happened.
Hmm.
The whole
Yeah.
time period is made up.
Wow.
What happened?
I don't know. It just didn't occur.
We don't know.
They were lighter than we thought.
Dude,
We don't know.
I could talk all day about that crazy shit.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
And the Earth is flat.
Oh, that's the best one.
Did
The
you
Earth
know
is
that?
flat.
There's a lot of people in on that one.
There, dude. That one. That's another one where you were saying
They're good at keeping
the-
secrets.
it's
Every-
hard to like. You'd have to get so many people. Like, why would every person that works for NASA or whatever Russia space program, like everybody's just like, yeah, man. Like we've just been lying this whole time.
This is it.
They were promised 100 Dogecoins if they
Yeah.
kept their mouth
They
shut.
early Doge
I
investors.
thought the flat Earth
Yeah.
thing would fail when that guy made his own rocket and
Yeah.
did the calculations
Yeah.
based
Yeah.
on flat Earth and went,
Well,
dead.
Yeah.
I just wonder if any of these people have
It's like,
ever
"Oh,
been to
this
like
proves it.
a really high building or out on sea. You could just go disprove it for yourself. Like
Yeah.
just go use your own two eyes and then go out
Get
on
on
the
the plane.
sea. And yeah, right. You get in a plane, you go,
Yeah.
oh wow, there's some curvature.
I did.
Crazy.
I wasted time
Yeah,
on a
shit's-
Netflix
Doesn't curve.
documentary. I think no, it might have been not Netflix, but a documentary of flat Earth. And
You
the-
entertained this thought for
yeah,
a moment?
no. I just love. I just
Okay.
love
It's
to watch
interesting,
docu.
it's interesting to watch
Yeah,
a documentary.
because the document like you okay, so this is like my love for people's minds
Mhm.
because I love the idea that like a group of people can
Be retarded?
no offense but like can convince themselves of something's beyond science. Like that's just interesting to me.
Noah's Ark.
And it's
Yeah, we
like
talked all
the
about
human
that.
race in general, but like
I was gonna say,
so this guy's like, okay, I came up with this test. Okay, this is how I'm gonna prove it. And what he does is he takes two like big planks of wood,
Ah,
and he goes
yes.
like, however many yards or miles apart. And he's like, I'm going to prove the Earth's flat
This
by
person-
shining a laser light through these two holes. And if the Earth is flat, it should go
Right.
through this hole, through another one,
Right.
and you know, hit this mark.
Right. Basically,
If it-
regardless of
right,
the distance
right.
between.
And if it's curved,
Yeah, it won't.
then it won't. It'll stop because it won't go through that hole. And like he's like, okay, is everybody ready?
Yep.
Everybody's like, yeah, okay, go ahead.
No light.
And he's like,
Uh,
do you see it?
no.
And the guy's like, no, I'm not seeing it, man. And he's like, and then he like radios somebody. He's like, are you holding your thing right? And he's like, yeah, the laser light's right here. And he's like, well, that means it's curved. And he's just like, well, this test was inconclusive. I'm like,
Inconclusive.
what are you
Dang.
talking
See the one he
about?
was like staring at it? He's like, that's really interesting. I was like, it is interesting,
Yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
I
Weird
just,
how that
I
works.
just love it's just it. Yeah, it just boggles my mind how someone can get to that place. It's like Stockholm syndrome almost. Like
Sort
little
of.
bit.
you
yeah.
just convince yourself like that it's okay,
Mhm,
Well,
and it's just like, my God.
mhm.
yeah. I mean, here's a question for you.
Oh, God.
Did you see the videos the Navy released or got leaked
Yeah,
of the
the
UFO?
UFOs.
Yeah, I love them.
Did you?
I want to
see-
eat that up so bad.
Did you see how that
Right.
Navy? I think it was a Navy representative basically admitted that it's not in the U.S. arsenal. It's sure as shit not in any adversary's arsenal.
Yeah,
And he
yeah,
was like, I don't know then.
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
like, what the fuck, man? What are you
Yeah,
talking
that's
Yeah.
what a lot of
Dude,
guys
as,
on Joe
that,
Rogan-
as if things couldn't get any more
That's-
weird.
that's-
You have
that's
that
one of my
going on too.
my favorite, because that's what Tom DeLonge,
yeah,
Blink
from
182. That was like his whole shtick. And then
Yeah,
the guy was like, yeah, we have no idea. And he's like,
yeah.
yeah,
Fuck
I
yeah.
did it.
But
He was like, go on.
No, I was gonna say the flip side of it is that Trump was president for 4 years and he didn't say shit. And
Right.
you know he would have.
Right.
Yeah,
So
but I don't
kinda
think they'll
like-
tell him because I watched a thing one time with Bill
Will they
Clinton.
tell Trump?
I don't think they would because I
That's
don't
true.
think that they would tell Bill Clinton. And Bill was like really like a big proponent for UFOs, like
Right.
just like we are, just curious on his own accord.
Yeah.
And I watched something one time, a documentary on UFOs, and they had this real short excerpt with Bill Clinton. And I don't know if they got the interview or if it was a clip recorded from whatever, but it was him speaking.
Yeah.
And he was talking about that. And his, he was like, well, and I went down there and I told him I wanted to know. And the guy basically was like, no, like it's above your pay grade. And he was like, what do you mean? I'm the president. And he was like, yeah, but you're going to be in there for
Sorry.
4 years.
Don't
That's it.
forget.
Sorry, you're not a thing.
Don't forget that Reagan and Gorbachev agreed that the U.S. and Russia would help each other if they were invaded.
Yeah, they're invaded.
They had like an actual conversation about it. It's on the
Really?
It's on the
I didn't
record.
know that.
Yeah.
He
So
Reagan was
interesting.
like really paranoid. Apparently, that's like the whole Star Wars program too.
Yeah.
He went to Gorbachev and he was like, "If
Yeah.
we got invaded, would you help us?" And Gorbachev
Right.
was like, "Well, yeah.
Fuck
I would hope you do the same."
Yeah. The enemy of my enemy
It
is
was
my
just
friend.
really bizarre. I thought it was fake,
Yeah.
but it
No,
apparently
I
happened.
mean, that's one of my biggest, like, I want it to happen so bad. I just
Yeah.
want it. I just want someone to be like 100% confirmed.
Right.
Aliens have visited. They're not here, but they have visited. We can make contact of some,
Yeah.
like, just
Yeah.
something.
Well, you've seen that they've done like the odds that it'd be peaceful or like nil.
Right. Very nil.
Yeah.
Neil deGrasse
It'd be
Tyson
like
says that.
Cortez coming to
Yeah.
to North
like,
or South America.
All right, bitches.
What was that guy that was on Joe Rogan that worked at S4 in Area
Oh,
51?
yeah.
Bob Lazar.
Bob
Lazar.
Lazar.
Right,
That was a
Bob
good one.
Lazar. He's been on there several times, and Bob.
Let's get him on
The craziest
podcast.
thing, he has been super consistent. Like when you listen to his
Yeah.
story, like he'd either have
Psycho
to be
good. Yeah.
like super duper like autistic level good at remembering his stuff. I'm serious. Like you have
Yeah.
to be like you
Yeah.
have to be fixated on this, or he's telling the truth because this it's but
He's so genuine. The
he's
way he
very
comes
genuine.
across.
and then he brought up that element whatever
115.
115 yeah
I forgot about that.
yeah
That
and then
wasn't-
and then we
wasn't
went,
on the periodic table, and he's like, "This is a fucking thing."
Yep.
And then years down the road, they're like,
oh element
"Oh, we
115.
found this," and he's like, "No, I told you about
That's
this."
not the dark energy thing they've been
Yes,
talking about.
it's not
Yeah,
dark.
it's
It's
big.
not dark matter, but what he was
Dark
saying,
matter.
Yeah.
it's not dark matter, but he was saying that it was what they were using to create the gravitational
the
effect,
energy.
the
They can manipulate
anti-gravity.
gravity somehow.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yep. And they said that it was not from here, and
Yeah.
blah blah blah. And then we figured out how to.
And the
sort of
element
produce it.
115 that was like created by humans was like unstable to
Yeah.
the point where we can't figure it out yet.
Yeah,
So like we know it's there now all of a sudden.
That was the only other theory about those UFOs or drones they saw. I think that we did actually master it,
right.
Uh,
and that's them testing it
uh-huh.
because it doesn't
Oh,
show any
clever.
form of they don't.
Right.
There's no propulsion. They just like move. And stop.
Right.
But again, it was. I don't know if you saw the one of the orb that just like
Yeah.
went into the water.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, it's gone. Yeah, no
Yeah.
shit. Like, go find
Yeah.
it.
What's that about?
Yeah.
Like,
Even-
all right, well, we're going back.
Yeah, and even the Navy thing, like they didn't send up helicopters to look, as far as I know. They didn't send up any planes to look. The whole thing
That's
was
what-
really odd.
I just think, like, what's your opinion on this? At what point, like, for an actual UFO, so unidentified flying object, does like the military say we're out of our league?
I mean,
Not us.
I think it would. What would have to happen is civilians would have to be hurt,
Yeah.
or a base bomb, or like if one of those ships had just like blown up
Right.
and like no adversaries are in the area, they would
Yeah.
have to explain something. They probably would say like, I don't know,
Right.
boiler room. But if there was like video of it,
Yeah.
I think that's what has to happen. It has to be caught on video, or like a city has to be hit by something.
Right.
Right.
Right. for them to really
Enough
get
people have
involved.
to see it where everyone's just like, okay,
Yeah.
so
Well,
obviously
we can't lie.
Yeah, like you can't see that big thing in the sky and say it's not there.
Well,
Right.
the guys that Joe Rogan has had on, he's had, a bunch of different guys from Navy to Air Force or whatever. But I remember one time specifically had these 2 Air Force guys, and they were like sort of joking about times that they would like not get in a dog fight, but like in a cat and
Yeah.
mouse type chase with these things. And he was like, I would see it on the radar and I would sort of engage, and then it would just leave me like I was standing still, and I'm in like the fastest jet we have. And they
Yeah.
were like joking about how they were like, yeah, it like happens every once in a while, and you kind of like,
Just get used to it.
yeah, you get used to it and you think it's fun to like
Foo
try and
Fighters.
catch it. But it's like, that's so crazy that they're like, you
Like,
see
what
it.
is it?
Remember that World War II ace after it was like 1951, I think. He died. He was in a P-51 and he was chasing an unidentified object,
Uh-huh.
and he chased it into the atmosphere in a P-51 almost.
Wow.
And the engine failed and he died. And they were like, oh, he got discombobulated. He was chasing like Saturn or some shit. They're like, dude, he did like 160 combat missions.
Yeah.
He was an ace in World War II.
Right.
Right.
He
He
didn't
was
see,
following something.
he wasn't chasing a planet in the sky. Like, give me
Yeah.
a goddamn break. Come
Yeah.
on.
Oh, there's so
Yeah, and his wife was pissed. She was like, no, he wasn't.
Right.
He wasn't delusional. He knew exactly what
Yeah.
he was doing, and he pushed his plane too far because he was like, I gotta find out what it is.
right.
And that's it's been happening forever.
See, that's the man.
I know, it's crazy.
That's like I
I was a skeptic, like Carol Christian days, of course. Like, oh no,
Right.
we're here.
Mhm.
It's just us. God, thank you, whatever. But
right.
Right.
but then no, but you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
realistically,
Yeah. The chances of us being the only thing
Yeah. Seem nil.
can't be anything like recordable. That's like the only thing that makes sense. I really don't fear dying that much, but
I mean, we all want to die.
I don't want to die. I don't
We're
want to die
millennials.
before it's confirmed.
No, we're millennials. We're not
Yeah.
suicidal. We just don't want to live.
Life's
Right.
too interesting to
It's
die
just
right
stupid. Yeah. Life's dumb. It makes no sense.
now. I am a spectator.
This got really dark.
I am a spectator to all of this crazy shit going on.
Mhm.
It's just fun to observe and watch it all.
So we're
Watch
aliens.
it all happen.
I think that's what aliens are doing. They're just watching us like a sitcom. Like they're like
Yeah.
these idiots.
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
Be
It would
fun.
be a good
For
show.
real.
It's like real. It's like what's that MTV show? Real life, real house.
Life,
Yeah.
s-
Real life?
something.
I wonder if
That's what
aliens will buy my Pokemon cards.
Matt, real world.
For sure.
Plot twist. They are.
Bro, I got Charizard first edition.
They
Saddle
planted
Rush,
Pokemon
Space
in
Set.
our heads, so we'd be used to seeing them when we see them.
I'd be down. I'd be so accepting.
I'd be
like,
okay.
fuck
Yeah.
you.
What up, dude?
So what are these UFO sightings though? Like what would they be doing? Like there's been these alleged sightings of them.
There's no
Like, what-
explanation though, right?
But they're almost always.
What's your best guess at what the fuck is going on?
Well, they're almost always circulating either nuclear sites or military vessels. Almost always, and civilian planes too. You'll see like pilots.
Mhm.
Pilots.
and
will-
didn't sightings increase like right around World War II?
Well, there was like the Foo Fighters thing, but I mean, you go back forever, and people talked about seeing like discs in the sky. Like
Yeah.
there's a tapestry from the Middle Ages where they
Mhm.
pictured discs
Yeah.
in the sky, and of course
Yeah.
they were like, "Oh, it's religious symbolism for angels." I was like, "Oh,
No
shit!"
way. No
Back
way.
then, angels were like
Yeah.
they were very specific about what angels looked like. They were white.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
had,
yeah, yeah. You see
Right.
them in a lot of old
Yeah.
stuff. And like when you
But-
think about it, like think flaming chariot. That was always the one that stuck out to me.
Yeah.
How else would you describe it? Flames emit light. You don't have electricity yet. And then in the chariot is the super fancy, extravagant. Like the only people who had chariots were like the Pope or
Yeah.
whoever,
Like the high
Caesar,
end, yeah.
whatever.
John the
And-
Baptist. Remember, was John the Baptist? No, John. He got decapitated. Who was the? You might remember too, because we went to the same propaganda.
Let me see if I remember Mr. Freed's test.
No,
Yeah.
I bet no.
Shut
But there
up.
was
We went to the
free.
game, the same
no, but there was a biblical
brainwashing,
figure.
so-
Not I forget
Yeah,
his name,
but
but he got taken to heaven by a flaming
Yeah,
chariot.
yeah.
And a lot of people were like, well, that's like really odd.
Yeah.
everybody's
I
like,
always
no,
said that too. It's
accept
like-
that.
You don't see
Right.
that every day.
No, but you're right there because World War II makes sense because World War One flying was still evolving, but then as the technology got better, like
But-
night vision fighting that was developed.
It's
they
like
started-
aliens wanted to move up in their seats.
Yeah,
Be
they
well,
were
it just
curious.
makes it easier for you to see things.
Yeah,
if
for
you're in
us
the
to
air,
see
you
it.
know?
Yeah.
And they would be curious, like you were saying, of like what we have technology wise and to see. And then like you said, the nuke sites, they're like, oh, okay, well,
Yeah.
like, they
Well, I
can
was gonna
fuck
say
some-
they bombed 2 cities you could probably see from space.
Yeah, and they were probably
And
like,
That would
Oh,
make me
oh.
interested in what's going on.
Right.
If I was like, I
Yeah,
thought
let
they
me
were
just
monkeys. What the fuck?
zip over there real quick
Yeah.
and see
Yeah.
what's going on.
Weren't they
Check
all right
this
like
out.
last week? Like what happened?
yeah. It's like when you go to your fishbowl. Is that one dead?
Yeah.
Oh, I guess so. I don't know.
God, to be a
Oh.
fish, that'd be terrifying. What the hell is that thing?
Yeah, what is that retarded?
But
thing,
yeah,
I think?
that's my thought. That they always seem to be focused on military aircraft.
Like the
or
universe
bases.
is so like massive, right? Like there's so much out there that we could have no idea comprehend like other life forms that could be out there, and that we have no idea how much time they would have to advance their technology.
Mhm.
And we seem to make a lot of noise over here
Yeah.
on this
Yeah.
globe that hangs in space.
Yeah, we do.
So
Not to monopolize, but
It's
there
not-
was that asteroid that came by. Remember a couple months back? Had a specific name.
Yeah, Mulamur or
And-
something.
It was a really odd trajectory.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And a couple scientists said that they actually thought it was from like a prior civilization.
Yeah, Harvard.
That it was like a
scientists as well.
satellite almost. That was
Oh,
long
really?
gone. Yeah. There was
Yeah.
like a well known. I think he's from Harvard or something. I
Yeah, it's
forget
from
I
Harvard.
don't remember his name, but
Yeah.
that was his theory. He was like, "Yeah, I don't think it was an asteroid.
It's just not.
Didn't
a
follow any.
normal-
Didn't
Well,
follow any
It
rules."
was a really weird shape, and then
Yeah.
it only reflected like 1% of light back. So they were thinking that it was a light sail
like
because,
absorbing.
well, yeah, because it would the energy would actually propel it, because it was only absorbing or only reflecting 1%, so it was
Right.
actually absorbing energy.
Yeah.
And just the size and like he said, the trajectory.
Yeah.
They have a pretty clear understanding of like how that space traffic works just because of the gravitational
Right.
fields. And this had seemed to be sent at such a rate that it was going outside and it was actually fighting the gravity from the sun and stuff like that.
This was also the time that Japan landed that thing on a moving asteroid.
Oh, right.
Remember?
Interesting,
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, like yeah, we'd want to do that anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
But
convenient timing.
it is interesting that we would want that, ability
Yeah.
to do that.
But I think we were really far from it.
Yeah, it's interesting though. I mean, you're right. It just, I don't know. It's interesting to think about, but by the time we find out, it'll be too late.
yeah, well, it's just because like there's so much evidence to suggest these things really are here. Like we're not even fucking around anymore. Like this isn't
Mhm.
just some like imaginative. We've seen too many movies kind of thing. Like this is
Yeah.
like legit shit.
And I do think there's a reason that the government's been more open about it.
Yeah, because
Have
like
you
they
noticed
have
that?
to.
Like,
They
Right, they're in a
think it's in
corner.
preparation because
big
they
reveal.
know
Sort of
something.
conditioning.
Maybe
Yeah.
they've been more open
That's
than
why
they
it's
ever
so good
were.
to be alive.
And there's really no reason for it. A lot of people are saying, well, they're just distracting from other things that they're doing,
I've kind of thought
And I
that
was-
in
well,
some
which is
capacity.
fair. But I mean,
That's
like
arguable.
they're doing
for sure.
shitty stuff anyway, and they're not,
Yeah,
they haven't
yeah,
done
yeah.
anything like. Now, granted, if there was like, they were trying to do this one world government currency thing,
Probably.
then hey, aliens are real would
Yeah.
sure as shit distract
Well,
everyone.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, the Christian Republicans
Oh yeah.
for that one world currency would be up in arms.
Yeah. Oh
Lord.
yeah.
They already think that the COVID shot's the mark of the beast.
I know they're
Well,
about
it
it,
is,
dude.
so-
They
Well, I
are.
already got one, so I guess I'm half beast.
Son of a bitch, get out!
Get out.
Get out now!
Is that what they're preaching over there
Yeah.
at our favorite church?
I don't fucking if I know.
I wanted to tune into a live
Yeah, Ian
stream.
goes back every
I wanted
Sunday.
to tune into a live stream.
I
just to
stopped
hear-
going back to the. Never mind. I don't want to talk about the church, but
Yeah.
I stopped going back to the Veterans Day thing.
That's
for
an
a reason.
off air.
Yeah, that's all
For
fair.
all
Yeah,
three.
yeah, reserved.
There are good people there. I'll leave it at that.
There are
Yeah,
some good
Of
people there.
course.
I don't want to throw them all the way to the bus.
Yeah, but
Yeah, as with
Just
anything.
under the
But
front
the
tire.
fuck
Just
the
the
rest of
front
them.
tire.
The rest of y'all,
Yeah,
fuck them.
fuck the front
Yeah.
tire.
Oh man, but yeah. Anyway, the drones. That video was just like mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
It was so creepy. There was like the pyramid, and there's just the
Yep.
lights all around. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like what you said. I think when someone of actual like rank or someone who puts their name out there and is like, yeah, I'm not sure. Like, I'm not sure what this is. And yes, it's real. What you're seeing was not made up.
Yeah.
Like,
And the
I-
theories that it's China is bullshit. They can't
Yeah.
even make a jet without copying us. I don't think they've somehow mastered a new
for
way
real,
to.
though.
Huh?
I said for real though.
No, but yeah, I don't.
I don't know. Have you ever been on Alibaba? AliExpress has some dank stuff.
Yeah, but that's like something that can be recreated.
In unrelated news, my dark magician just got a new offer on eBay. So
What do we
Shout
got?
out to
How
whoever that
much?
was.
Dark Dimension.
How much we
Is
got?
it a
a
Yu-Gi-Oh
Pokemon?
card?
Oh, it's
Uh,
a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
I
didn't
listed
play
it for
Yu-Gi-Oh.
like $12 plus $4.20 shipping, and
Yeah.
I think you sent me like $8 plus $4.20.
Hell
so,
yeah!
You know what I mean? $4.20.
I'm
I
not-
do all my
Ian,
shipping is
Out of
$4.20.
everybody, Ian,
What's
what's
up?
up? 420,
I'm not
bro.
good at weed culture, so I'm just trying to fit
Yeah.
in.
Dude, bro,
Yeah, it's
420.
420, bro.
Blaze it, bro.
What's the best you've ever been able to score on something like that when you buy a card and then sell a card?
Well, I have a whole, that's hard to answer because I have a whole bunch of cards ready to get graded. Like I want to
Answer,
send in
goddamn.
to PSA. I mean, I've
Ready
made a
in
couple
anticipation.
$100 on like some raw flips or cards that were already graded.
Oh,
But I
nice.
would say that my best flips will end up in the future because I want to get them graded.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Drinky,
keep talking.
You want
I'm
more?
gesturing for liquid. I don't want to. I didn't want to cross across the
So
camera.
like getting them graded, that's like
Just that
one of
one.
the main things.
Yes, dude, these people are savages. Like, I mean, I'm into a bunch of like weird like buy sell trade groups. Like, I'm into
Yeah.
a bunch of music stuff and whatever, and like I do a bunch of high end guitar deals and stuff. And those people are savages. And like this whole last year, I bought and sold cars, and people are crazy about their cars, like used cars especially. And I've been doing that a lot. And I thought like car people were the worst to deal with, but like it didn't matter because I'm a car guy. But
Right.
I'm telling you, as soon as I put my foot into the card world, it was like I immediately wanted to get out. I can't believe I'm still in because the people are crazy. Like it's all about the grade. If there's one little nick or like, I mean, anything that looks like it won't grade at a 10
Yo,
out of
yeah.
10, people freak out.
Yeah.
I watched a video of a guy. This card looked like
Pristine.
perfect.
You could pull them out of a pack and,
and
get
he was like, oh no, this is not like a 10 out of 10 because the actual
The
picture
centering.
when they printed it
Yeah, the
is not
centering.
centered
Oh, for the
correctly.
love
the
of
centering
Christ.
is
It's like,
huge.
what the fuck?
Yep.
But
Dude,
sometimes
fuck
those,
off. That would
those
make it better.
aren't the defect ones like rare
But
themselves
not
these
the
days.
centering.
Some of them are.
It's misprints usually.
Okay.
Like there's like a Billy Ripken one, like where his bat actually said "fuck face" on it.
oh,
And there's like 3 or 4 different
I'd pay for
cards,
that.
all of like varying prices. None of them are like super expensive, but
Yeah.
like there's a whole bunch of those, like where they forgot, like in Ken Griffey Jr., they forgot to put this period for 89 Dunruss or some shit. And like that one's worth more than the one with the period. There's a whole bunch of them, but centering is big, and then corners and surface, all that. It's crazy.
Yeah. I bought a Nintendo 6. Alex knows about this. He's heard enough about it. Sorry.
do I?
I bought a Mario Kart 64 in box like 8 years ago or 10.
Yeah. Is it
probably.
still in the box?
Yeah,
It's
it's over
over.
there.
It's right up over your head there.
We should look it
See
up.
that white ball? It's over
Yeah.
there, isn't it? Still
Yeah,
over there?
it's
Yeah,
it's
I
still
see
over
it. Oh
there.
yeah.
So
Oh,
I
yeah.
got
Is it in a
that.
case?
Yeah.
Dude,
I can't find
stonks.
Stonks.
We'll get it later.
Yeah, dude, we'll take it.
Well, I can't
Yeah, if
find
there's
a,
anything you take in here, that's the most valuable.
Stonks.
yeah, when Tyler and Jace come over, Tyler always fucking hides it, and I always forget
He
every
does.
time he comes over that he's gonna do that. And then I notice it missing. I just see this gap in the wall. I was like, that motherfucker.
Same Tyler from the movies.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, that we work with on our films.
Yeah,
We'll have to
easy.
touch on that, dude. We'll have to talk about like
Stop touching on me.
the old
Yeah,
days.
touch on
No,
life
I think I'm
touching.
gonna have to
Yeah,
Yeah,
that would honestly be a podcast of its own. Us talking about the
revisiting the old days of
the
shooting
asylum-
videos.
What was the hospital name? Henrington.
Henry
Talking about that whole
Yeah.
adventure.
Yeah.
Fuck.
God, I love that.
Still
Yeah.
get a headache from that sometimes.
To give everyone a little context, me, Alex, and Ian made some YouTube videos back in the day, some action movies, or it's kind of like our take on a Call of Duty,
Which we've been
live-action
talking
movie.
about revisiting now because our skill is completely
Is
different than what
mediocre.
it
That would
was.
be. Damn.
Dude,
Did
we've
you
gone
hear
from pro
Brad?
am. We've
Did
gone
you
from
hear
pro am.
Brad?
No, what?
I said it's our skill, and he goes, "Is mediocre."
Mediocre. No, dude, we've gone from pro am to pro am plus. We're ready,
Hey, you guys
ready to
should
take it
though.
to the next level.
You really should
Yeah.
though. I think it'd be interesting.
I just think it'd be cool to see the difference
Yeah.
in
Well, we're all
old
cynical.
school.
Well,
Couple
dude,
of us
Brad,
have
you're
probably
getting more
trauma.
into editing,
Yeah.
right? Like you
Yeah.
actually are really taking a liking to it.
Yeah.
I think I still have the Dawn of Reckoning footage.
Bring it
You
on.
want to cut together a fucking action movie, dude?
Yes.
Be our guest.
Please don't
If you-
revive that acting.
If you
God.
want
Oh,
some,
yeah.
oh, dude, it was
It's
Someone
gonna
else
stellar.
start, Ian. I'm just gonna make him like
Dude, no, I watched one of the other ones and I was like, Jesus.
One of the first podcasts we did was
that
kind
was
of like
good.
a about us
Okay.
podcast. I think it was like the second podcast we did, and we went through because one of these cam buttons is linked to the computer so I can show the screen, and we watched through some of the old videos, and my God, Some of it's like unbearable, and then others like I can see where we're going with it, but it's just trash.
The experience, you know,
Yeah.
and it prepared you for what you're doing now. So
Yeah, oh, of
Yeah.
course.
that's the bright
It
side.
was like
definitely
the
so.
best kind of school.
Yeah.
It's like
Yeah.
Alex went
Oh, yeah.
to Sheffield for how long was that?
It was just a certificate, so 6 months.
So what was like the most useful thing?
It was
from
a
your-
crash course in pre and post production film.
So like how useful would you say it was? Or you're still glad you went, right?
I'm glad it wasn't as expensive
Just
as an
hate
actual
paying the
college.
bills. Or
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went
mean-
to Sheffield. I went and looked at. I did like the whole walk
Sheffield?
around tour. Yeah. I
That's
thought
where-
about it for music.
Yeah, I think they were really good for just kind of getting you into like the hey, this is like the basics of what you need to know.
Mhm.
Like we went down, my mom and dad took me down to Full Sail in
Yeah.
Florida,
Yeah.
and they were like, of course, like that's like top notch.
Yeah. That's the
But
one.
they're also like, oh yeah, we're like 60 grand a year.
Yeah, we're like an
And I
actual
was like,
college.
"Bleh."
Yeah.
Like that's disgusting. Like I'm not doing this. I'll go spend 20 grand for
Yeah,
a
I
certificate.
think anyone that loves filmmaking has come across the Full Sail
Yeah.
brochure and been
Yeah,
like
yeah.
shit
But-
their pants.
Yeah.
like-
What the fuck? $80,000.
Yeah, for real. But like Sheffield did a really, really good job at like the basics of everything. So it was like, okay, here's your basic like editing software. This is what we use. And at that point, they were using Avid and Final Cut Pro
Mhm.
something.
Technical difficulty.
7.
Brad's mansplaining at me, so I was just.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
Ian was spreading his legs to my eyes.
Ooh.
But so they did all that, and then we had like some basic classes on like just basic camera functions, so that regardless of the camera you picked up, you could kind of understand what you could get out of it.
Right.
So in that way, they did a really, really good job. I mean, I gained some friends there that were awesome. I got some real world experience, if you will, with some of the classes, because we did like this weird, odd documentary thing for one of the military ships that was docked in the harbor in Baltimore, and they, I guess, played that at one of the museums for a while. So it was interesting. I wouldn't say it was like the most like intense or knowledge based thing you
Right.
could, but like going there, and then just like at that point YouTube was becoming just like a tutorial machine in general.
Yeah.
So going there plus just what you can find on YouTube that at that
Mhm.
point, and even now, was like that's all you really needed.
And it seemed like kind of the draw of Sheffield was not only that you got some of the training from people that knew what they were doing, and they definitely had like top-notch equipment, but it seemed like a lot of them would give you that real world experience and like help line you up with a job
Yeah.
or an intern program
Yep.
post the project with
Yep.
them. And
So that I think was my only complaint
okay.
about Sheffield was, and in no way I'm knocking them, but they had like a few kind of like what would you call this, like companies that they use to then get you a job.
Right.
So it wasn't like they were like looking in Hollywood for something.
yeah.
So when I got to the end of classes, they would like bring you in one by one and kind of like look at your resume, so to say. And at that point in my life, I had worked at the private school I went to. At like after school, I would just clean for money. That way I didn't have to get another job. And I worked in the summer for a handyman service. So it was what it was called, like one trick pony job type
Mhm.
person. So I was told that the only offer like I could really have was going on Carnival cruises
Oh,
for 6 months at a time,
right.
being a family like videographer, basically. So
Yeah.
if a family got to the cruise and was like, yeah, we want to buy the video package, I just follow that family around with a video. And at that point in my life, I had a girlfriend, and she was in school in another state. And it was like, yeah, this might work, but it's very odd.
Yeah.
And I don't love this idea. And now was like dirty laundry. But like now that I look back at that relationship didn't last very long after the school, which was okay.
For a second, I thought you were talking. I was like, oh shit! All right, cool.
No.
We're going down that path. All right.
Well,
It's a different.
my wife? Yeah, no.
Oh,
no,
God.
no, my wife is still my wife.
I was gonna say, let's hold on, back up.
You know who I was talking about.
You know.
Because I think you introduced her
Like
to him.
biblically? No, I don't.
I did.
Yeah, to Brittany. Remember that? I think we talked about that one point. And
Way
you were
back
like-
during the movies, yeah. That we
Like
remember.
way back in the day.
I thought it was.
I've introduced a lot of people to a lot of people.
Well, anyway, so that relationship didn't last very long, and I probably could have done the 6 months thing, but it was like this is so far away from what I actually want to do
Yeah.
that it's just like it feels like a way to be like, yes, we got him a job.
Yep.
So
I see what you're
in,
saying.
in that sense, it wasn't that great.
Right.
Like some of the friends that I had there did a lot more legwork than I did at that time to get into positions like in Baltimore. And that was another thing that sucked was I was one of two people that lived in PA
Mhm.
and everybody lived like
Yeah.
20 minutes away
Right.
from Baltimore. So obviously production
Yeah.
and stuff is like way more accessible to them than it was to me. But all in all, after years, it's worked out.
The Thex Films days were more valuable as a film school than going to.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah, because when
I
we say
mean,
the Thex Films, we mean just our backyard home videos.
Our old school
Or what
videos.
started out as in the backyard, and then we graduated to, hey, let's find an abandoned hospital complex and run around
That
there
sounds good.
with guns that I'll go get at Walmart on the weekends and then bring back to them and say they don't work. So
Can I tell Brad a story
Yeah,
about
go ahead.
us evading
Yeah.
the cops?
Because I got
Oh,
Has
please.
Brad heard this story?
I
don't think
evaded
so.
them twice
Twice. Oh, yeah, I remember.
when I went back to get the poker set the first time.
So
The second time was much more eventful.
here's a fun story. We're
Mhm.
filming this Call of Duty. Was it Zombies too? Zombie movie? I don't
it's
remember.
whatever
Call of
the fuck.
Duty, something like that.
Yeah, some kind
We're
of Call
filming
of
this
Duty.
movie. We have a bunch of realistic looking airsoft guns.
Mhm.
They're all very real looking from a distance.
Big collection.
There's like 8 of us, 9 of us, something like that.
7.
Oh god, I'm so sorry. Jesus. Anyway,
I remember
So-
vividly.
so we're filming and we ran into these dudes that were they were ripping the copper wire out of the
Of course.
Henderson. So
Yeah, scrap
we're
it.
like, okay, whatever. And we're filming, and I think it was you. He was holding his camera, and then he froze, and he just sat there like staring at me. And I think whoever was with me,
Yeah.
And we're like, Matt, what's up? He's like, there are cops outside. We're like, are we not allowed to be here? He's like, no. That was when you told us we weren't allowed to be there. Do you
Dude,
remember?
I saw a glare out of the corner of my eye, and it was the sun reflecting off of a cop's badge on his shirt
Uh-huh.
as he walked across the courtyard out the 3rd-story window. And I looked out and I saw him approaching the building, and I was like, fuck.
Yep.
And Mike, my friend Mike, looked at me and he's like, I got to get the fuck out of here. I got 2 felonies already. That was like the
B,
yeah,
T or
B.
C.
Yeah,
First
that
thing
was
he-
when we learned about that.
First thing he said, he's like, I got 2 felonies. I cannot get caught. Like, I got to go. He was he bolted. He
I
was
remember
gone.
he hid like in the top floor of that building.
No,
but-
he hid in the basement.
Oh, did he?
Or no, maybe you're right.
I think so.
I thought he hid in the basement.
were on the
which was
first-
creepy and
We were on the
completely
first
pitch black.
floor. I never forget it. We were on the first floor. We're all holding weapons. We're like,
Fake
so
weapons.
so we put them in a closet, so like a back corner. Do you remember we stacked them in a closet, and then we did not move for 3 hours at least. We just
Yeah.
did not move. Like we sat in the same rooms. We all were spread out. No one knew where each other
Uh-huh.
was.
And the
waiting.
floor was eggshells.
Uh-huh.
Yep.
And we could hear the police right outside the building, probably not 100 yards away, 50 yards away, right outside the building, arresting people
So
Yeah.
for
That-
being there.
so
those-
the,
yeah.
the guys who were stealing the copper wire got caught.
Yeah.
They,
they'll
they
get
actually
arrested.
sprinted, and that's when we heard the cop yelling, like,
Uh-huh.
"Get her on the ground!" We're like, "Oh my god!" And then these assholes said, "Oh, there are kids running around with guns."
Yeah, you're like,
So 3 more
"Oh."
cops rolled up, and it was a whole like fucking
Well-
like thing. We stuck out through the woods and all this other shit.
Initially, when I was saying I saw the shiny thing out of the corner of
Mhm.
my eye and was like, "Fuck, the cops are coming, we gotta go." And Mike B just took off. There was a point like right there where there was a conversation about what do we do. Mike was
Oh,
gone
gone.
before that even
Gone.
happened.
yeah, that's how you have to do it.
Yeah. Well, like we didn't stay long, but like 20
Mike wasn't
seconds
staying
later,
for anything.
we went out the back door of the
Yeah.
building we were in. before we there was this this whole place was an abandoned complex.
Yeah,
There
yeah. I've
was
been
this
to Henderson
parking
a bunch
lot,
of times.
and
Oh
yeah, nice. Okay, so we were in this parking lot, and before we walked out of the door, we looked, and there was like what 6 cruisers
At least.
parked, and we're holding all these fucking airsoft rifles that
you're like,
look
"Oh."
completely real.
Yeah, we're gonna die.
There's
today.
no orange tips.
No,
in our
no,
videos.
yeah, no.
And we're like, but there was 6 cars, cop cars, but no cops in them.
Yeah.
Every
So you're
cop
like,
had
"Where's
gotten
the
out of their
walk
car
past?"
and they were somewhere else. We had no
Yeah,
idea
they were
where.
so
looking
lucky.
for our asses.
So lucky there wasn't one just sitting in there radioing or something like, hey, there's those fucking
Yeah.
assholes.
I think the funniest part about this to me was I was not there that day.
Yeah.
That was one of the few times I did not
This was
go
a story
down.
to tell you when we
Yeah.
got back. So
Oh.
we went across the parking lot because there were no cops,
Uh-huh.
and that's when Ian was talking about. We went in this closet, and it was me, you, Daniel Prophet, and his friend Mike something.
Yep.
Mike was gone.
Uh-huh.
Or 2 other friends, Matt Bennett and his friend Kyle, had not
Kyle, yeah.
arrived yet. They
Yeah.
were going to arrive. They were driving around. I belly crawled up to the highest floor I could to call them and be like, "What the fuck's going on?" And they're like, "There's cops at the front. There's cops at the back.
That's what
The
they
whole
do
place is
at
surrounded." I was like,
Henderson.
"What
And
the?"
they were asking if they knew us.
Yeah, I was like, "We got like 4 stars in GTA."
Yeah, they shut
We're hiding
down.
in this closet.
They have like 2
and
entrances.
they were looking for us, and
yeah.
they were arresting people. And these guys that were stealing copper wire were like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna try to win points with the cops and tell them,
Yeah.
hey, there's these more dangerous kids running around with
Yes.
guns."
It was like a 7-hour wait, I think,
Yeah.
after shooting. Like
Yeah,
the actual
Yeah.
when the cops got there from
Yeah,
us.
they
like,
definitely
waiting.
interrupted a good day. We got a lot of good
Oh, I
footage.
bet.
Oh,
I actually have
God.
a funny, so a related story,
we were
especially
doing
with
good.
the
We were on
waiting.
a roll.
I can't remember what this place is called. It's another like tuberculosis asylum type thing in Maryland, and it's kind of far. And one Halloween, I went to Henrington a couple Halloweens, and then this one was only a couple years ago. I actually have this cool like Polaroid picture as like a memory from it that was like
Is
it
it still
developed
up?
and found it. What?
Is it still up?
Yeah, yep, it's still there. We could go to it. I would be totally down.
We got to write.
I went with 2 of my buddies, and we went, and it was like, I'll just make this real brief, but it's funny because you guys said the
You
waiting
got
part.
time.
We got there, and my one friend is just like, he's one of those dudes, he could sell ice to an Eskimo. Like, he's just that guy, silver tongue, whatever. So we pull up, and we're like at this little bar, and there's like a mile walk that you have to do. It's kind of like Henrington, where you got to like either go through the train tracks or
Yeah.
go the woods, and it's like real far, and you got to take these woods. Well, we pull up, and there's another group of kids there, and they just happen to have locked their keys in their car, and my buddy's got one of those fucking Jimmy set things.
Right.
So he goes, "Hey, you lock your keys in your car?" And it's a little group of them, 4 people, and they're like, "Yeah." And he's like, "I'll get it out if you hook us up on a bowl." Like, of course they've got weed because they're going to a fucking insane asylum on Halloween in the middle of the night.
Well,
You know.
they lock their keys in their car.
Right.
Where they are.
Right. So sure enough, he's like, "Yeah, man, whatever, blah, blah." Buddy pops it. Cool. We all go in together. We're all doing introductions, fucking splitting blunts, whatever. We get in, and we're walking around. We get maybe like 2 hours of exploring in. We like smoked on a couple roofs. We go around, and then we come to this. I don't know. We've probably been there for 2.5 hours, and we're standing in the middle of this road. It was like this section of like corridored paved roads with all these like buildings, like kind of like Henrington has, where they're like split up, and they're real big buildings, but like they're just all over the place.
Right.
And we're just standing in the middle of this road for whatever reason. We hadn't seen any cops, no nothing. We're all standing there, and I mean, out of nowhere, these guys come out with flashlights. It's pitch black out there, and these 2 guys both come just like, I mean, we didn't hear footsteps, nothing. Just they turn the corner, flashlights are on us, and we all like, same thing like your buddy. I mean, none of us communicated, just all 3 of us just
We're
bolted,
out.
and we all just happened to go the same direction. Well, we were running, and I have one of those weird like photographic brains. Like if I like something connects, like I just remember it. I just happened to hear something fall when we were running, and we just happened to pass this light post, like an electric post, and I didn't know what fell, but I didn't really care at the time. It wasn't mine. And
You're like, I'm out.
we were out. So my buddy, we get down there. My buddy Jake's like, we know we're still being followed, but he's like, "Fuck, dude, I lost my phone." And I'm like, "I know
Oh,
exactly
jeez.
where it is, but we can't go get it right now." And he's like, "Where is it?" And I'm like, "We passed that light post when we were running, and it's like it's way far back there, but like something fell, and it was definitely your phone. If that's the only thing we don't have, that's what it is." So we're talking. We're behind this building, and we see the guys. The two cops. They walk down this road, and we're watching them from behind this building, like peeking around, and they start walking the other way, and we're like, okay, they're going to go this way, and then we're going to go around. Well, I just happened to catch the guy like in the last bit of his stride before, like if this was the wall, like as soon as he got right here, just happened to give this weird glance, and I was like, he fucking knows that we're standing right here. He knows exactly where we are, and he wasn't going to let it on. And I like tapped my buddy, and I was like, we got to run right now. And literally, as I'm saying that, they both pop right back around the corner, flashlights on, running at us. And I was like, I just stopped what I was saying and ran and left them. So this gets to the waiting part.
Brad's like, see you.
Yeah, I was like, all right, see if I don't care.
Everyone left behind.
Yeah. So we run, and we came to the end of this, like it's like all that concrete where like grass is growing out of it and shit. And then there's this woods line. We run into the fucking woods, and then we all just hit the ground. Maybe we went 50 yards into the woods. So we're like crashing, but we were clearly still in the woods. So we all hit the ground, and I had one of those light masks. Like if you go on my Instagram, it's like the
like
X
EDM.
with this. Yeah. I had one of those in a strap bag on my back, and I couldn't see it, and I didn't want to move. But I was like, the biggest fear in my head was, I was like, when we dove, I probably turned that fucking stupid mask light on, and they're probably like, hey, retard, we see you in the grass.
Stop hiding in the bushes.
EDM light, like we could see you. But so they actually were doing that. They had no idea where they were. And my favorite part was we were waiting in those woods for like maybe an hour. And like the craziest part to me is I was laying like this, and my buddy Jake was right here, and my buddy John was somewhere behind me. And like the guys walked into the woods, they're walking around, and I'm just like keeping my head down for the most part, except like just a little like eye out. And I see these guys standing maybe 15 feet from us. The way he's holding his flashlight, it's clearly illuminating my friend in front of me, and I could see parts of me very clearly. And they stopped talking. They're just like, I guess, standing there looking, but I can't see them because of the light.
Right.
And I'm like, in my head, it's like, okay, any second now they're gonna be like, jigs up, like we see you, you're dumb, like just get up. We're super clearly illuminated. Get on the ground. I'm on the ground. But no, we just laid there, and they walked off, and I could hear them talking for a while, and they were still searching for us. And then the voices got more and more distant. And then at one point, I heard in the distance these guys, like it was definitely the cops, and they had laughed about something real loud, and my heart kind of sank because I was like, oh, it's Jake's phone. Like we're screwed. Like
no.
they found it, they picked it up, and they were like, haha, idiots. Like now you got to come get it. Like,
right.
And you know, we get up, we start talking. I'm like, dude, did you hear him laugh? And he's like, yeah, do you think he has my phone? I was like, that's what I thought. I think, whatever. So I'm like, well, let's go. I know, kind of where it dropped. We go back there, phone's laying in the grass. Sure enough. So we pick it up, and we were walking out, and like you have to go through these like this mile worth of woods, like I said. And like right before that happened, I just happened to hear it. We're all talking, and I was like, shut up. And I just heard like something in the distance, and it was these guys, the two cops. They were like doing a patrol. They knew we were still there. They just didn't know where. And I was like, get in the woods. So we run into the woods, and we're all sitting there like Splinter Cell. I swear to God, these two guys walked by, and it was like one of those like press X to like break the neck or something. I mean, we're like 2 feet from these cops as they walk past us. They're just talking about their life. Like, yeah, man, the other day my wife got this fucking Mustang, and like it's pretty cool. And we're like, meanwhile, we're sitting there like just monkeys in the trees. Like,
Brad's like,
Tell me I'll kill him.
yeah, just give me the word. I'll fucking do it.
Did you have anything on your person that would have gotten you in trouble?
Maybe we had some weed, but that was, I mean, even this was only a couple years ago.
Death sentence.
Yeah, right.
Correct.
Get on the ground.
I am on the ground.
I'm already on the ground.
Get on the ground again.
I already pulled over. I keep pulling over.
Taser, shit.
Oh my god, yeah, don't.
That was my keys.
That scared the fuck out of me.
I thought I broke something.
Jesus
He
Christ, dude.
taser.
And then, right.
Dude.
No, they're coming in.
They're coming in. Right.
So with these, it sounded like glass
It
shattering.
sounded like
Yeah,
glass.
that's exactly
It
what
did.
it
It sounded like
sounded
Jesus
like.
Christ. I froze. I don't. It's on camera now. I
Yeah.
froze. I don't know if you guys.
I
did.
have,
I
I have
heard
the
it was
sound
like-
burned in my head, so I know what you mean.
Oh my
like
god.
glass
So
shattering.
there's a just off topic real quick. I was on Twitch streaming with Daniel Roberts. Remember them?
Yep.
I play games with them all the time. We were
Okay.
streaming, and he lives up in Mount somewhere in Maryland. I forget where, but they live near a train tunnel,
Yeah.
very close to their house. I think it's a train tunnel or a regular tunnel. Long story short, some asshole kids fired a firework, like a rocket, like a mortar inside
Yeah.
the tunnel.
Oh God.
So I'm playing with him, and all I hear is a massive explosion, like through his headset, so loud that I thought it was outside.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
And the video is crazy because my reaction was not good,
You're like, what the fuck?
as you can imagine. I was just like, it was not a good reaction at
Were
all.
you like complete like PTSD?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not like freaking out,
Right,
like
right,
screaming,
yeah,
like
but you're
recover,
like, seriously,
but
what the
like
fuck?
I
You were like,
froze.
no.
I froze and I
Yeah.
like slowly look at it. And I was like, Dan, because I didn't know if it was outside. Like I was
Yeah.
like, did you just get shot? Like, did your wife just come in and just pop you? I got it. Like I get it. I can see her doing that, but
Or
dude,
she's justified.
I gotta show you the clip though. It's crazy.
That's
But
awesome.
that's what that reminded me of. I was like,
That's
oh,
funny.
God. But
great.
that's not my reaction. I just sit here and I'm like, am I dying?
Yeah.
This is it.
Not yet.
This is the millennial
glad-
thing that you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I'm ready.
Yeah. I do know what you mean. The SWAT team kicked in my door one time, and I still, if I start falling asleep, I have this like weird, like I guess it's like PTSD. If I start
Yeah,
falling
for
asleep,
sure.
I start hearing the sound of them pounding the door sometimes, and it'll snap me back to wake.
Yeah.
And like it's the craziest thing. I literally came out of my room from upstairs, and it wasn't for me; it was for my roommate. But I came out of my room in one of those fog states, and like
Yep.
I'm super brazen as it is as a person. So like I heard the banging in my sleep, and I was like, just my half awake, whatever. I don't know why I wasn't putting together like Baltimore County Police.
Yeah.
That wasn't there. So I'm like, who the fuck's bad? Like, I'm gonna figure this motherfucker out. Like, I'm gonna go down there and fuck this guy. Literally, I got to my steps and they had already breached a door. And there's a guy standing in front of me with a riot shield
Yeah.
and a handgun, and then everybody behind him with ARs.
Why?
And I was it's a long story. He's got a whole list of
yeah,
shit.
maybe that's another.
It's a I don't want to air his
Yeah.
whole
Oh, I thought it was
laundry out.
you.
Oh,
No.
okay.
It's my roommate. And
Oh.
I lived in a
He
house.
was like,
Yeah.
I feel so much
I know,
better
No,
now.
I was like, oh.
I guess
shit.
someone
I
has
know,
had a
it was
worse
crazy. It was not
roommate
for
than
me.
myself.
Yeah.
Let's start talking
It was
about this
bad.
shit.
We had a 5-bedroom. It was 4 guys. Like we were young, and
But it's definitely a thing though about hearing shit, like especially when you're at that waking.
Yep.
REM. I think it's REM sleep. Like when you're
Yep.
kind of, like say sleep paralysis.
exactly.
Where
Yeah,
you can't
yeah,
really react to it yet. But
Yeah.
when we were there's a sound. Fuck, dude. When we were, I think I told you the story. When we were in Syria,
Mhm.
I think I told you we had the civilian stepped on an IED
Mhm.
that was like on our bridge site, and he like got cut off at the head. It was fucked
Yeah.
up. But I was I'll never forget because I was in between our two
He
of our.
laughs.
I don't know how else to describe it. I was in
Yeah.
between 2 of our trucks, and for some reason the sound of the explosion
Mm.
was almost metallic.
Mhm.
I don't know how to
As
describe
it
it.
ricocheted back
It
and
was like the
forth.
sound was ricocheting
Yeah.
between the trucks. So when I first got home, I think we talked about this, but for the first 2 months, I would wake up to that sound.
Yeah, and hear it.
It was so
Isn't
fucked
it
up.
weird?
But I wish I could like recreate it, but I don't think I
Mhm.
ever could recreate it without blowing up a bomb in between 2 trucks. But I don't want to do that.
Yeah. FBI that's listening, he's
I
not
forgot
gonna do
to put
that.
up. But yeah, but no, it's just like it's crazy how your brain connects that sound forever.
Yeah, it's really weird.
It just never leaves.
What do you think?
Yes.
I'll
Good
ask a question about the PTSD stuff
Oh,
because I
got-
know.
I got
well,
plenty of answers for that. Not for me, but
I know both of you were in the military, right?
No, just Ian.
Just Ian.
Just
You weren't at all.
Mm-mm.
he's just a unit.
Nikolai was though.
Nikolai
Nick.
was.
Okay.
correct.
Yep.
Nikolai
Because-
was a gunner on a Black Hawk.
Okay, because the first time I actually met you was that day that we came down and filmed
For battle bars.
for Battle Bars.
Okay.
Correct. Yep. Get
Um,
off my watch.
shout out.
Hey.
But for some reason I assumed you were. But
Yeah.
so for PTSD, I guess the question would be like, how has that affected you personally? Like in kind of an everyday situation, like are you more like psycho aware, not in a bad way,
No, I know
but
what
just
you mean.
just like always on edge type of a deal? If that makes sense, does that make sense?
So I mean, my experience weren't as bad as some people. Some are really, really severe. For me, it was mostly like Walmart, Target, the grocery store,
Mhm.
and even till when I first got home, it was really bad. Like any large groups or any large audiences like that, I did not like at all. Or at least I could go for about an hour, and then I'm like, I gotta go. Like let's just leave. And it manifested itself in me getting really irritable.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I was trying to flee for the door. I was getting like pissed off that people were getting so close to me. That was the one big thing, and I still have it today to a degree, but it's been less because of COVID. No
Right,
one's
yeah.
in big groups. But every time I walk into a big place now, I do like look for doors. Like
Yeah.
a lot of people have the same. They sit with their back to like
Yeah.
a wall.
I do that.
Yeah,
Even
a
like
lot of
no
people-
military. I just don't
Yeah,
like
a
crowds.
lot
I
of
don't
peop- a lot
like
of
people,
people
and I do
But
that.
that was
Right.
the first. That was the one big thing I noticed was that really because we worked with when we were in Afghanistan. We trained they trained the Afghans. Not as big of a deal. I didn't have as much front facing with them.
Mhm.
In Iraq, we were front facing with the Iraqis. We trained them every day. They weren't
Yeah.
shady per se, but ISIS, still had infiltrated a lot of the
Mhm.
groups, so we were
Yeah.
nervous.
Right.
Syria, the rebels, they were awesome. Like I actually trusted them. I didn't. The people, you roll through some towns and they would love you.
Yeah.
Then you go to the
Yeah.
next one, and all you got were daggers.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
All, and it was
Sure.
like there was one specifically. It was like really really narrow streets, and the Mat Vs are huge, like 30
Mhm.
tons.
Mhm.
So it would take up the entire street,
The
and we're just like
vehicles, you
rolling
mean?
through slowly, and I'm like waving, and they're just staring at me. And I
Yeah.
hate that
And
shit.
I mean,
That shit was freaking.
it sucks for them too, because like, what are they going to do? Like, we're going to come in there and we're going to fix it and roll
Yeah.
out the next day, and then
Right.
the insurgents are going to come right back and they're going to go, "Oh, you were cool to the Americans. Now we're going to slaughter your whole
Well,
family." So
The benefit there is that ISIS was gone from they were gone
Yeah.
because we were at like the front,
right.
so ISIS wasn't infiltrating back over, which was
Right.
good at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But some of them were still
Yeah, just
maybe
living
ISIS
fear
helped them out,
Right.
and other
right.
towns were like
Right.
fuck them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I
I think that answers the question. Like I said,
Yeah.
some guys are way. My experience was better by comparison to others, but that's what I got.
Yeah. I just think that's
From that.
another one of my just interesting, how the mind,
Yeah.
it's almost like fight or flight, I guess, at
Mhm.
all times because you experience something so extreme
Yeah.
that your body is just like, I'm ready for this type of a thing
Yeah.
now,
Mhm.
and you are going to be 100%
Yep.
aware of it at all
It's
times.
the same with like women or even men who have sexual assault survivors.
Yeah.
right,
Like
Yeah.
you could reach for their arm to help them like if they fall.
Absolutely.
right,
They will freak out. And I've
Yeah.
seen it before myself. Like,
Yeah.
And I've been like, I'm sorry. Like,
Yeah.
and this person I'm talking, like, I'm thinking of, I'm not going to name her, but
right,
she was very understanding. She wasn't like an asshole about it.
right,
She's like, I had some stuff happen. Men freaked me out when they touched me. I was like,
yeah,
my bad. But she was like to the point where she understood what was going
Right.
on. She tripped and I grabbed her to hold her.
Start with a K.
Right.
Yeah.
But
No, but that was
narrows it down.
I
no,
know,
but that's like a
yeah.
valid thing though. It's just like
Yeah.
and I feel bad for you got like military PTSD and then you have like that kind of trauma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that trauma I think is actually hard to get away from.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
you,
Very
if
real.
you're
Because,
a rape
yeah.
victim and you see a guy who looks exactly like your rapist,
Or not even
Yeah.
just
or
just
just
that,
men or
that
women, like, whatever
flashback.
it
Right.
is,
Yeah. You look up and you see this hand,
yeah.
and
Yeah.
now
like that I actually like. I
Well,
don't know how
because
to
I
do
don't,
it.
I don't assume or pretend like I know what war is at all. But
you
I
play
think
Call of Duty.
You play COD, you've seen it all.
son of a bitch.
piece of shit! I hate you. Your
that's exactly what Ian did. for years.
noob. How
What's
many
your,
times did you say
what's your
pwned,
address,
noob?
dude? What's your address? I'm coming over.
No, but
Yeah,
But-
exactly.
I would feel like I do agree with you at least to a certain, I guess. Well, I guess mostly, because like the military aspect, you do remove yourself from like that thing coming
Yeah.
back home,
Yeah, in theory.
but you still have like the side effects from it, where
Yeah.
someone as like sexual assault or
Yeah.
something like
Mhm.
that could be living that literally every
sure.
single.
Mhm,
No,
mhm.
and not that like military PTSD can't be living it every single day,
No,
but
no,
it's
no,
more.
it's
you know what I
different.
mean?
Like
Yeah,
some
yeah.
guys latch on to like seeing trash on the side of the road. Like that was a big
Right.
thing back in the day, like
Uh.
2004, 2006, like 7, like Fallujah.
Yeah,
Like they'd see trash bags on the road and you'd see them swerve. Like that was a big thing. It was
Yeah.
always an
because
IED.
they didn't know.
Yeah, or like
Right.
I think it was Afghanistan where they would put IEDs in like dead animals on the
Okay.
road. I think it was big there. So you see like a deer and you see people like you see
That's-
them kind of like deviate.
Right.
And I'd be like, "Why'd you do that?" He's like, "Well, it's a habit."
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Um,
because you just don't know.
yeah. Or
That's
just
interesting.
so like things like that. It depends on the severity, you know.
Right.
Like I said, mine's just uncomfortableness in crowds and when shit crashes.
Yeah.
Or if I wake like I wake
Brad.
up like
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
that kind
Right,
of shit.
yeah.
But that's actually a good segue. So
Oh, go on.
so you know that I think I've talked to you about this too, but you know how the VA, I don't know if you guys know this, but the VA does not prescribe medical marijuana or
Mhm.
CBD.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So that's like
Battle
a big,
bars.
no,
Yeah.
I'm not even gonna go. Yeah, battle bars.
Yeah,
CBD
actually, battle bars.
CBD
are
gummies.
battle
No, but
bars
that's
are
like a
awesome.
legit thing. So
Well,
we've been
I've
trying
been
to
using this CBD gummies.
yeah.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
but like we launched the CBD gummies
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we have cops, DOD employees, federal employees, military all the time saying, "Can I take this?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "No." And they're like, "Okay, but I thought it doesn't have THC." I'm like, "It
Yeah.
doesn't."
Yeah.
But for whatever, I mean, I know why. I think from the government's perspective, there's so much shady shit. Like
Yeah.
you go to like a gas station, they're like, oh yeah, there's no THC.
Yeah.
There is.
And there's THC. Yeah.
So like if I took our gummies and I took a drug test, it's not going to show up.
Right.
It,
Right.
It's 0.003% THC. It's
Right.
nothing.
Right.
But the regulation says they cannot.
Right, 0.
So like lately, that's been a thing that we've been kind of getting fired up about because we have PTSD survivors who are opioid addicts now,
Yeah.
Mhm.
homeless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're hooked on this nasty shit, and finally
Yeah.
they're stopping prescribing that.
Yeah.
But like, why can't we just prescribe stuff
Yeah.
that works that doesn't?
For real.
I
It's
have
not
a,
addictive.
I've got
I-
a buddy right now
yeah.
that I'm not going to name him,
No, yeah,
but
yeah.
he's going through it, and I've been sort of like just sort of his like I don't know, backboard for some of his ideas, like how do you think this would go or whatever.
Yeah.
And they've prescribed him some it's an SSRI, I can't remember which one, but like I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of people that take SSRIs that work great for them, but there's a ton of people that say the opposite, that they had to go through the ringer and try 73 different ones that gave them 500 different personalities and a bunch of negative side effects and blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Or you could smoke a joint and feel better. And I'm not
And
saying it's a
level it out,
magic
yeah.
cure-all,
No,
but
Of course.
it's the same thing. He's going through the VA and his doctor wants him to do this and try that and blah blah blah. And
Yeah.
there's no real point in time that he can go, hey man, I smoked weed before the service and I know that it chills me the fuck out. I'd
Yeah.
rather take that than Zoloft or some
Yeah.
other thing.
Well-
And they want you to do that.
Yeah. So like to agree 100% with what you just said, my wife Kim, she recently last year got her medical marijuana card.
Cool.
Okay.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I was super happy about it because I really hate the idea of like someone saying this is the good shit. I kind of want a little bit more information
Yeah.
type of a thing,
Yeah.
please. So in the state that we're in, obviously they kind of run you through a whole bunch of stuff. You have to talk to a doctor, I think a therapist
Mhm.
or a doctor.
Before you get your-
Anyway.
I know in PA you have to talk to
Anyway,
a regular doctor.
yeah.
I don't know if
So-
you talk to a therapist though.
So they immediately like said, okay, take these pills. Well, my mom was like, I'm just letting you know that's what your brother, a doctor told him to take, and it literally like alter ego
Yeah,
brother.
that's right.
Mhm.
And
bro.
it's because it was depression medication, but he wasn't depressed. He was just dealing with stuff.
Yeah.
So it made him depressed. Completely different version of my brother.
Yeah.
So I told her, I was like, I really, really don't want you to take this stuff.
Yeah.
Please get a card. And it's like she actually had to renew her thing. She was on the phone today with a doctor, and the doctor was like, so how are you doing taking your pills? And she's like, I haven't taken any of them.
Right.
And the doctor, of course, is like, why haven't you tried it? And she's like, I don't feel comfortable taking these things.
Mhm.
Right.
And that my whole shtick with like marijuana is like, if doctors are capable and willing to say, take this pill, take this pill, take this pill, like, they pull a scroll out of 100 different pills you can take with millions of side effects,
Yep.
Combined. Why can't
Right.
you just take some CBD?
You know what the real
Or-
answer is, right?
Yeah.
Money.
Big Pharma.
Yeah, they're not.
They
getting,
want-
they're not
they
getting
want you on the
kickbacks.
hook.
It's psycho
Yeah, they're not
to
getting
me.
kickbacks.
It's so awful.
They want you on the hook. They want to get you. That's going to create more
Yeah.
problems. Like I think Purdue, who makes Oxy, I think they are like one of
Yeah.
the worst companies in the world. Like they're so
Yeah.
clever that at one point they were making. So there's like Percocets. There's all
Yep.
these different things. They made these pens that had, just like you said, a scroll that was like attached. It was in this like rotating whatever, and it would tell the doctor. So like they would give them out at these like gatherings for a bunch of medical professionals, and they give them out as just swag bag stuff.
Yeah.
And on it had this conversion chart. If you were on 5 milligrams of Percocet or Vicodin or this or that, to what it would have to be if you were switching to the Purdue product. So that way that they would just get your doctor to go, oh yeah, Oxy,
Yeah.
great. Like so that they would make that connection. Like what a clever idea, and how sinister to be like,
Oh.
yeah, you definitely need this super ultra strong barbiturate rather than like this Advil 800 that would probably take the pain away. Might as well get you on the hook now.
Don't forget, they also came out with a medication that was supposed to cure or treat the effects of OxyContin addiction,
Yeah, right.
with no sense of irony at all.
Right.
None.
Psycho.
Right.
It's fucked up. But again, that's
yeah.
why like we talked like the battle bars thing.
Yeah.
We started like talking about like why the hell is this a thing? So we've been like tagging politicians and like the laboratory that we work with that produces our stuff. they've lobbied the government before about this kind of
Yeah.
stuff, but never from a veteran angle.
Mhm,
And there's some people out there like politicians that are on it, but it's they slide a bunch of other stuff into bills, but they won't slide that. But I think the trajectory is in the right way. But that's like one thing that I'm all about. I have not taken our CBD stuff yet.
Yeah.
because I'm still in.
Yeah.
So
Well, yeah, and you can't.
right. Like of course, again, I could take it. It's not going to show up on a drug test. I'm never going to get it, but it doesn't matter. I'm still going to follow like what I'm being.
Even
told.
though I like to pick on you, I think you're a pretty moral person.
Yeah,
so it's
I'm
not
moral. No, but it's true. Like,
everybody in the room's like fucking.
Yeah.
We
no,
know
but
that.
like the
If
reality.
you stay
for
at the
me is-
Gaylord Hotel with him, I don't know.
But the reality is, I've been in for 13 years.
Yeah.
I'm not going to throw it away for some bullshit
Right.
gummy like thing that maybe help, like that made
Hey,
me sleep
right.
better.
Our gummies are not bullshit.
You know what I'm saying, though. I'm saying like the idea that like this little gummy's going to ruin a
telling
career is
Colin.
ridiculous.
I'm calling Alex right now.
Get a
I'm
fifth
telling him to
microphone
get
in
on
the
this
headset.
podcast.
Punch you in the shaft.
All right, somebody get right in the shaft.
Right in the
in the
shaft.
shaft.
Ugh! Shaft punch.
Preferably while you're stretching, like for a workout.
Yeah.
I like repel from the shaft
That
punch.
is the worst time of all the times when people come and punch me in the dick. I hate it when I'm stretching, and it's specifically the shaft.
That's what I'm gonna do
It's the most of all.
That's what I'm gonna do it.
That's
It may be a small target, but I've honed my skills over the
Right,
years.
yeah, right. Ninja hands.
Made a tiny dick joke.
Yeah,
Did it.
slid that right in there. Watch out.
Don't high five me calling you a small dick. Come on.
I thought it was funny. I thought it was funny.
Anyway, that's like a big thing for us right now. We're trying
Yeah.
to get like more attention brought to it. And the feedback's been crazy.
I just think it's kind of
It's good,
I think not to take like a Joe Rogan thing, but I think something he said one time, it was like he just doesn't like understand how something that helps and like the worst thing it does to you is makes you want to eat
Right,
sleep.
yeah,
is-
or be
or
tired.
sleep
Or sleep.
is like not okay.
Yeah.
Like it's just and
Yeah.
it goes back to like that like weird segue thing of like
Mhm.
you know, I think I can't remember if it was him or somebody else says like I've never been in a room where people smoking pot, and someone was like, "You want to try crack?" And I was like,
Right.
"Oh yeah, because this is
Yeah.
the gateway drug."
Right.
Like no one has ever said that.
Right. And it's funny how
Ever.
they make that correlation because it's like, well, did all of those people also smoke cigarettes? Did they drink alcohol? Did they breathe air? Did all
Right.
those people also ironically go to bed at night? Like we
Yeah.
could draw this conclusion from everything. Like, of course they happened to try weed, but like I smoke weed and not once was I ever like, dude, meth sounds fucking
I
awesome.
smoke alcohol all the
Like,
time. It
yeah,
doesn't do
dude.
anything to
I
me.
hate when I inject the alcohols
Yeah.
and it goes
You know, you
wrong.
can do that. There's I saw a video.
Yeah, you butt chug or whatever,
Yeah.
right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I just mainline liquor all day long. And I'm
Damn.
fine. There's
I
nothing
walk
wrong with
around
me.
with an IV in my Jeep.
Damn.
I mean, not in my Jeep. I mean,
Mr. Leahy over
You know
here.
what? I've said the word Jeep
I
once
am the
since I got
liquor.
here.
Yeah, but you own a Jeep, so it's the
But-
worst.
so, you know, we're gonna pick on you.
Well, shut up.
The worst kind of people own Jeeps.
I mean,
just look around.
It obviously, yeah, I guess. That's,
Just open your eyes.
Just go to any Walmart parking lot and find them up
God.
on an
Oh
island,
my god!
unironically. Like, look where I can park.
You're gonna wait for
Just bucket
tomorrow
on
and
here.
park on top of your BMW. We'll see who's laughing.
You gotta catch it first.
Would you guys buy a Tesla?
I can catch it. All we gotta do is go and like maybe like a light drizzle, and when
yeah,
you're spinning out on the
probably.
highway, I can
Probably.
climb up on top.
Honestly,
you now, fucker.
probably.
Yeah, no,
It's still gonna take a while because I've been in a Jeep before, but it
Yeah.
probably will.
I go downhill.
Yeah,
Go straight downhill. Will be good.
yeah.
But yeah. Anyway,
Well,
CBD. is not
Would
bad.
you buy a Tesla?
Yeah. I mean, my girlfriend wants one.
Oh, yeah.
She thinks they're pretty cool. So I one day I'd like to get one of the like SUVs and like hopefully there's like a Dogecoin Elon Musk edition that's already
Oh,
like
hell
all
yeah.
wrapped and
Jesus,
stuff.
That is just like
It's just like little Doge dogs.
Just Doge
Oh,
dogs,
yeah.
May as
because
well
she
get-
really likes dogs.
just get like Reddit like emblazoned in the
Yeah.
side.
Oh
right.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
and
sure you
stonks.
could get
Some of my
Reddit
license
to
plate
pay for
stonks.
it.
Maybe you could crowdfund it. You could be like that girl who put the glue in her hair because she
Yeah.
fucked up in every aspect of her life, and she got like 50 grand and like
What
a
was
market-
that? Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, she put the glue in her hair.
Yeah.
True.
Did you
And
hear
that
about
Cash Me
that?
Outside girl,
Nope.
all she did was say
Dude,
Cash Me Outside.
Dude, this god, she put Gorilla Glue in her hair
He didn't hear
because she didn't have like fucking spray or
I
gel.
haven't
Yeah.
been
So
keeping up
she
the news
used
with
it
3
as
weeks.
like a gel,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Gorilla Glue
and then
as
she
gel.
her whole thing was, well, it doesn't say not to use it on your hair. Yeah, no shit. It also says don't use it on all this other stuff. Hair is kind of
Right.
implied.
The only defense I can
Fucking-
give to her,
No.
we
What
went
was she trying to do?
At
Sue
ACA?
somebody?
She's trying to like
Yeah. No,
she was just trying.
no, she was just I went to school with a
Just
kid who
another
used
stupid
Elmer's
person.
glue as a gel,
yes,
and he would do like half Elmer's glue,
What?
half.
You would
Elmer?
use Elmer's Jew. I love that. I love that hairspray.
Triggered.
That keeps your hair right up.
Oh no, we're live.
It's about
It's live canceled. It's over.
That's canceled.
Elmer's glue. It was like
Zion is coming.
half Elmer's glue, half water, and he would use that. And he said every night it would wash out.
Here's the thing. That's still stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
That's really
Terrible.
stupid.
Yeah.
And I don't know why you would do that. What are you doing to me?
Later.
Oh, okay.
Give me the lighter.
But yeah, so she was just trying. I guess she was just trying to get the slick back, right? Just
Yep.
whatever.
Just
but-
literally
Pimp named
gel.
Slickback.
But the end result was the surgeon had to surgically like
Yeah.
remove it. I don't know how he did it. He didn't charge her. She had a GoFundMe. She got a couple grand, like 50, 60 grand.
Is that a lightsaber?
And then they gave her a deal. Like she has like a social media
Yeah.
manager now.
Doesn't work
How do you
that way.
word
Yeah.
something like that? Like, oh, I put glue in my hair.
No, it's
Someone
because
help.
I think what it turned out to be is that she was like, I did this wanting this, and I made a terrible mistake. Please, like, pity me, type of a deal.
So she worded
And
it
man,
cleverly.
Like the internet came to her rescue somehow.
Well, the majority of the internet was saying you're a fucking idiot. The other half of the internet, it was equally
It was like,
stupid,
we'll
said,
pay you money.
Oh, no, it's not
I
her
gotcha.
fault. They should have said, "What are you trying to do?"
It's not light. Your lightsaber doesn't
Give
work.
me this.
Might have. It does. Oh, okay.
Did you
Go
turn
the
it off?
other way.
Bitch.
There we go. Nice. Thanks.
It's
He
a-
turned-
Sorry.
he-
Oh, whoa.
Jesus!
All kinds of
Christ.
fire. Look,
Alright,
his
alright,
fire's
Elon.
crazy. I know, right? This is like the Tesla.
This is the
flamethrower.
boring company.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it?
Give me mine
Flamethrower.
back then, bitch.
Is that a lightsaber? It
No.
looks like a lightsaber.
It's a
Thanks,
lighter.
Matt.
It's for me. It looks like a hand grenade.
Looks like
Yeah,
a
it
bomb.
looks
like
like
a
a
World War
hand
One
grenade.
hand grenade
Yeah, it
until you
does.
did the
Okay.
fire.
Okay.
You gonna
Alright.
play with it?
Yeah.
Play with fire. There you
Yeah.
Don't hurt yourself.
Ian's gonna be a great dad.
Jesus Christ. You know, the camera was on us, so out of context, that's gonna be a really weird sound.
Yeah.
It's
Um,
okay.
But
It's normal for these parts.
you say I'm gonna be a great dad?
Play
A
with fire.
lot of other steps would have to happen to get to that point. But all right. One, I'd have to be a good person.
One, he'd
two.
have to have a dick.
Well, and
Two,
two, he'd have to
yeah.
not. He'd have to trade
Hold
the
on,
Jeep
I
in.
can
Shots fired. Get ready to do that blur effect. I
Trading
hope
in
you
the Jeep.
remember how.
Yeah, you got to blur the whole room there, bud.
I don't have that
Oh shit!
That
ready.
little helicopter.
That was heavy.
around.
Helicopter around.
That's how I'll leave the room. That'd be awful. That'd be a nightmare that you'd wake up to at night in a cold sweat.
Yeah.
Me just dick helicoptering out.
Yeah,
of
the
the
Yeah, that
sound
would be my
again.
PTSD.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
sound would be the
Yeah.
problem. I
I'd be
think.
like, it's kind of fun to
The
watch,
sound would be
but
great.
also
It'd be like
terrible.
the Vietnam Hueys.
I think that's what would concern
Man,
me the
you're gonna
most.
fucking knock over everything on my kitchen table over there.
Oh, God forbid.
Man, there's so much shit over there and all that fucking
You
Creole
got,
sauce. I don't want to bend
You
over
got a
and pick all
bottle of
that up.
whiskey. You got some tissues. You got some lotion. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got all the works. You know, stuff you need.
Stuff you need.
Hell yeah.
Like what?
I can't even see. I don't know what's over there. Vanilla wafers
Can't even
and
see.
You live here, bitch.
the microwave's in the way. I haven't been here in 3 weeks.
Really? Where'd you been?
Yeah,
Alex
That's
has
my
been
fault.
fixing the toilet in his house, so they've had to use this bathroom. So
I've been literally redoing the entire bathroom.
So you haven't been here because
this is my first time
Well-
back in 3 weeks, or no, 2 weeks.
So let me clarify.
he's a bad
I'm-
person.
I'm I'm a terrible person,
No, I was
and
him.
yeah, he's awful.
Also him.
I've been redoing our bathroom inside
Okay.
because my wife wanted a new tub, and we knew that there was like mold starting to get in. It's like the original tub and original toilet.
Okay.
So I literally had to take everything to the studs, put new flooring in, subfloor and everything. So it's taken, I think this is the end of the second week, and finally got painting, almost got the toilet in today. And then I came over here, and then you said you're going to be late, and then I was like,
Oh my
I
God,
could've
I'm
got the
so
fucking
sorry.
toilet in! No, but I'm just
so-
kidding. I'm kidding.
Usually I'm like
Oh.
half an hour early.
somebody had to delay your arrival with
But,
bad driving.
So I just said, hey, would you be okay with staying at your parents for a couple of days, or whatever, so that we can just come in anytime and use your bathroom? And so he's been kind enough to not be here.
To get
But
that-
but I've also
When
I've-
you word it like that, it sounds so nasty.
no, but I've also told him multiple times that he can be here. It's just that you'll
Hence
hear a
I'm-
knock
hence
on the
I'm
door.
here.
Ezekiel or Kim or I will come in and need to use the bathroom. I was like, if you want, we could staple a sheet up That way we can walk in and you can be doing whatever you
That's
want in
silly.
here.
It's
Helicopter.
like fucking camp.
Helicopter.
Yeah, it's like
Come on,
camp,
me, guys.
Camp
Yeah.
Joshua
Helicopter.
over here.
He's just hovering in the ceiling right here.
You guys want to see a cool dick trick?
Ezekiel's like, Matt, what are you doing?
Oh my god, that would be horrifying.
Mother of God. Well, yeah, you don't
Kim
gotta
would
worry
hate
about
you.
that.
Kim would be like, ask him to leave now.
I don't think he should be asking.
Just
at that
tell him to
point.
leave.
I think you'd come out here and she'd be just packing up. And you're
Yeah.
like, what are you doing?
Yeah, right. No, she'd come in to tell me to come out here and tell him, and
Yeah.
I'd be like,
Should tell you both to leave. Should
Yeah.
kick you both
Both
out.
of you.
Yeah.
You guys both
You're his
leave
friend.
together.
Get out.
Yeah, you can get a helicopter in the hotel room together.
I can't believe they haven't been over here to pee yet this whole time. It's been
well, Ezekiel
it's very impressive.
went to his dad's house,
Oh, that eliminates that.
and Kim, this is a hilarious story. Kim was at the marijuana dispensary, not weed store,
The Mary Jane place.
the marijuana dispensary, and she met
A weed store.
a kind lady named Yolanda.
Yolanda.
They exchanged phone numbers.
Yolanda.
They've been calling and texting back and forth.
Oh.
And she went to meet Yolanda tonight for dinner to chill because they didn't go buy plants last weekend.
How long ago was that?
It's a couple weeks.
No, I meant like since she went to dinner.
Oh,
Couple weeks. I think she's actually
she
gonna ask
hasn't
him
been
to
back
leave.
Can we
since.
check
Sorry.
in?
Yeah, no, I
She met a
don't.
strange lady.
If she
named
comes
Yolanda.
back, then that's fine. It's whatever.
Yeah.
But if not, no worries.
I think they were meeting at 8:00, so like an hour and 40.
Okay.
It's no big deal.
Yeah.
I told her if she needs to come use the bathroom to come in, so it's no big deal.
I'll make a scene though. Just so you
Yeah,
know.
be like, get out!
Yeah.
I like
This is
cover
the
up.
boys' club.
Brad, stop! She's lucky.
My penis is out.
My wiener.
That's
call
she
too much
walks in. That's the
attention.
first thing you say. My wiener.
Honestly, she does. We all just need to agree to say it. It has to be the first thing we all say. Otherwise, what's the point? Why are we here?
All in unison. Okay, great.
It doesn't even have to be in unison. We just have to say the same thing. Otherwise, I wasted my time coming here.
Yeah.
That would be a great way to
for
cap
sure.
off the night.
Yeah.
I think we can time it just right.
Can you text her and ask her to come in before we end this?
Do you want me to? She'd be like, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, I don't think she'd let me back, to be honest with you. If she remembers me.
She was like, who's coming over tonight? I was like, well, Ian's coming over. He's bringing, he was bringing Nikolai. Brad was coming over, the guy who's been here before, and he's like Battle Bar stuff and Matt's friend. Ian's not Matt's friend.
Oh.
Or Battle Bar stuff.
Oh.
Either.
But
I'm just
I was like, Ian's bringing Nikolai, and then Brad's coming too. So there's going to be like 5 people over there. And then I walk over here, and Matt's like, so Nikolai's not coming because Ian said he was going to bring another guy. And so it's just going to be Ian and Brad. I was like, God.
And given
so
the setup, it's probably a
confusing.
good call because that'd have been tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
he
I
gonna
do
bring
have a
Miles?
4th camera option.
Was he gonna bring Miles? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we do have a 4th camera option and another seat.
Another time.
Yeah.
But like you were saying, that's a lot of cooks in the kitchen.
A lot
it's a
of
lot of
cooks in the kitchen.
voices.
Yeah.
And our voices are bad enough.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
You guys have been
faces.
fun.
yeah.
Good time.
I'm a good time. I'm so
How
close.
long, how long
So
have
it's
we
great.
been? How long is this?
I'm a good
podcast?
time. 152. An hour. We're coming up on 2 hours.
Oh, really?
Dang.
You think it's a good ending? You have any other topics?
What's something controversial we probably shouldn't talk about?
Hmm.
No, you know what? Never mind.
Hmm.
What's the one thing I can say that'll get me kicked out of the
Yeah.
military?
No, I got plenty of things. You know? I
Yeah.
don't need to dance around that one, but
Yeah.
I won't do that yet.
Well, you could CBD.
Yeah.
It's right on the other side.
I actually put in my request to go on timeout, so that'll be nice.
You request to go on timeout?
It's called the individual ready reserve, and it basically means I don't have to report to drill anymore. I'm still in
Okay.
the army, so like if shit hits the fan, they can still call me up like immediately. And if they really wanted to, they could say, "Hey, you're going on orders," or "Hey, you're deploying."
Yeah.
For the most part, I don't have to report. It's kind of like taking a knee is what we call it.
Mhm.
I just
So you're there, but you're kind of
I'm
like
on the
on the
books.
sidelines.
I'm on the books. I'm not reporting. I'm not in uniform.
So you're like a backup quarterback.
So, like, if aliens show up, you're gonna
Yeah.
be there.
But basically, it's so I can focus on the business. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because I'm
makes
pulled. But if I
total sense.
if like shit hits the fan a couple years from now, I could say, "Hey, I'm gonna come back and be active again." I can do it.
Well, speaking of the business, do you want to
Quick
talk
plug.
about that at all?
Well,
I mean, since that's a good portion of your life now.
yeah, it's all my life right now. But yeah, so we have fun fact, we have new CBD stuff coming down the line.
Yeah.
Some of it I think you're aware of, but for the most part, it's kind of like not hush hush, but not ready to announce it quite yet. But it's
Yeah.
good stuff. It's some muscle recovery
Yeah.
rubs, I'll call it,
Mhm.
and then some other things.
Sexy.
Sexy, yeah. Hot.
Mhm.
And then other than that, no.
Rub
it's-
it on. It
Brad's
puts
like,
the
"Yes,
lotion
please."
on its skin.
But no, like a lot of the recovery products, we're actually pushing that pretty hard.
Yeah.
And then the bars they're still going really, really well,
Yeah.
obviously. But
I just got an email today.
yeah, no, I
Yeah.
said I hit the button. But yeah, as far as the bars go, we're looking into some potentially disruptive type stuff. So a little bit of a change in the status
Meaning,
quo. Just diving into different territory that
Okay.
is still a protein bar, but still maintaining the same like taste and
you
like,
should dive into the non-dairy
so non-dairy
because I'm
non-dairy vegan
stupid
Yeah,
for
um,
that.
is on our agenda.
pea-based protein for a lot
Okay,
of people.
yeah.
We're kind of looking into those options, but
Mhm.
Yeah.
we'll probably start smaller.
If you need my opinion, let me know.
no,
I
I,
know we
I have no shortage of opinions.
We talked to a lot of people
Oh my
when we were in
God.
Florida about the no carb as well. Doing
Yeah.
like a keto type bar just because
Yeah.
it's so popular. So
Yeah.
that's
So no, it's going well. It's growing.
Good.
We managed to grow during the pandemic, which can't be said for a lot of small
Which is
businesses. You
awesome.
know, yeah. So in theory, this year coming up should be awesome
Yeah,
because
hopefully.
gyms aren't shut down anymore.
Right.
We got a bunch of new partnerships that are pretty significant to the point where gyms around here you may start seeing our stuff
Hell yeah.
soon.
Yeah,
there's-
but
Are
there's
you
some
are
big
you getting in
change.
sheets yet?
Come
No,
on,
no.
dude.
I literally sent an email to
Did you?
Sheets. Yeah, I did.
Yeah, no,
Nice.
I mean Sheets is great, but you know there's another convenience chain that we're testing right now.
Yeah.
And what we learned is that during the pandemic, convenience chains in general, they lost like 40% of their
Ton.
specific protein and nutrition bar business.
Okay.
People aren't going because they would grab one on the way to work,
Right.
but they're not going to work.
Right.
So
Makes
that
sense.
that part, like, but
Yeah.
again, things are opening back up. So in theory, going forward, but again, we're really leaning into the CBD too. We're trying to make them almost like symbiotic
Yeah.
because
Which makes perfect sense. I mean,
Yeah.
it's
the bar fuels your workout.
yeah.
The CBD can help you sleep, recover, but also if you have anxiety, you have sleep problems, it's been
Yeah.
known to help that. So we're trying to like make them
Well,
one on the
Not
same.
to be like a splooge for Battle Bar's
You are a
CBD
splooge.
gun.
You're a walking
So-
splooge.
gummies, but I did them. I do them on and off now, but for like when I first got them, and I think I messaged you and was
Yeah.
like, "Hey, I got the gummies."
Which
I
ones do you
was-
have? Sorry, the 10 or the 25?
25s
Okay.
probably. I was like, I have to do this for like a week, making sure I do it 7 days to kind of like
That's smart.
figure out a baseline,
Yeah.
adjustment.
Yeah.
And it was like the first 2 days, it was like very groggy when I woke up.
Yep.
After that, I was like, this is like good sleep.
Oh yeah.
Like really
And that's
good
normal.
sleep.
That's what we tell people too. The first
Yeah.
day or two, like if you've never had CBD before,
Yeah.
like maybe start with the 10. But to be
Yeah.
honest, like some guys I know they got 25, they'll cut it in half. 'Cause
Yeah.
Some people are just super sensitive.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But you're
Yeah.
right. The grogginess typically goes
Yep.
away, and then after that, it's more. It just feels good. I don't know how to describe it.
Yeah.
It's like a deep sleep, but,
But
you don't
yeah,
feel it.
oh, that's what it felt exactly like, a deep sleep. It felt like when I woke up, I was kind of like, I could tell that it was like way heavier than
Yeah.
normal,
Mhm.
but it was good.
A lot of people say it also kills dreams, depending on the person.
Yeah,
No, not everyone. Some
Yeah.
will say like nightmares stopped, and
Mhm.
they would have good dreams.
Yeah.
Others will tell you like they have no dreams at all.
They say marijuana
That's
does that
interesting.
in
That's it.
general.
Yeah.
so-
Usually THC does that a little bit
Mhm.
more, but like
Yeah.
some THC gives them more active dreaming.
Right. I
That's
mean,
interesting.
But I've had a few people come to me and say like, dude, like I used to have nightmares. I don't, but I also don't have dreams. I'm not complaining.
Right.
yeah.
And I was like, hey, I mean, as long as you're sleeping.
I actually
restfully-
did hear something about people that stop smoking will get like wicked vivid dreams
I bet.
shortly afterwards.
Actually, I think it's any kind of addiction, technically, even caffeine.
Is it
If
really?
you cut caffeine, I think you have the same problem because your brain's like,
Mhm.
I'm not
like
obviously.
compensating or something.
Yeah, it's like your brain's like
Yeah.
trying to compensate. I don't
Hey,
know the science behind
I'm as good as sugar too.
Dude, I'm all out of coffee pods, and the new card hasn't arrived in the mail yet. Maybe it's a good time to have some vivid dreams.
The new what?
Yeah.
Oh, card.
Yeah. I had my appointment with the doctor. It was 5 minutes over the computer to get my
Very
card
thorough.
renewed. Yeah, so just waiting for it to arrive, but who knows when that's going to be.
Yeah.
But I kind of wanted to just drop it cold turkey for a while
Really?
because like I'm one of those people that's like, time to smoke, right? Got like because I like very much have to do something with my hands like
Yeah,
a lot of the
yeah.
time.
So you want to drop smoking cold turkey? Is what you said?
I want to try stop smoking
Yeah.
weed cold
That's a-
turkey
that's a-
and caffeine. Fuck it, I'll just throw that in there
So,
too.
I mean, caffeine, you can get some wicked headaches because I did that for a while.
Yeah.
It was not great, but I mean, it's not a bad idea. Just if anything, ease out of it. You know.
Yeah, to be
Yeah.
honest, it'd probably be harder to quit coffee than it would
Oh,
be to
yeah.
quit
I
weed.
mean, my dad quit smoking. He was a 3-pack a day guy, and he quit like
Sheesh.
cold turkey one day and then never went back. I don't know
That's
how he did it.
crazy.
I have no
I
idea how he did it. but-
Did your dad smoke like when we went to CCS and stuff?
No. He smoked like when my first sister was born.
Yeah, I was gonna
Like,
say, I
up
don't
until that
remember
point, like she was born, he was like, "Shit, I gotta stop."
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Irish stereotype, just chain smoking all
Yeah.
day. And my mom smoked actually until we were in 7th grade, I think.
Really?
Yeah, you probably didn't know that either, but yeah, she
no.
smoked a lot, and then same thing. She was like health, you know.
Yeah, because
So-
I think I was coming over in I don't know, maybe it was when you were in 7th grade, but I know when I was in 6th grade, I started coming over to hang with Colin.
Yep.
But I don't even think I would have even noticed back then.
No, they weren't smoking at that point. All my sisters did a little bit, but
Yeah.
my parents definitely weren't.
Gosh.
Scumbags. As I
Scumbags.
smoke a cigar.
Yeah, right.
You're like,
That's actually
Scumbags.
the only smoking I do is just cigars once in a blue moon.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
do because I know my family history. We're all dead in our 50s and we smoke. So
do you think post military you will indulge
in what?
Weed.
The weed plant?
Yeah.
The bongs?
It's the devil's lettuce.
Well,
the
just
devil's-
just in any capacity, do you think like THC will be something that you
So here's the thing.
not
so,
like depend on, but like dabble in?
so
Just
the
to
medical marijuana card.
Mhm.
If you get that, you can't also have a concealed carry card.
right.
Right. Yeah.
Now, granted,
Yeah.
now
that's-
granted, am I trying to
why I don't
conceal
have
carry right now? No, but would I like the option? Yes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'll definitely do the CBD plenty.
Yeah.
But I'm really tempted to get my card as well because I know it would help with my.
That's why you need
my
the
dr- my dreams are-
significant other to
Yes.
do the dirty work for
Yep.
you.
Yep. Yep.
And that way you can
Yep. Yep.
Wow.
that's
I'll do the
literally my
protecting, you
that's
do the
my
getting this
argument
weed.
for
Yeah.
that
Yep.
completely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know, but
It makes sense.
yeah, I'm debating it, but it'd be nice to have because my
Yeah.
dreams are fucked up. Some of them are fine. Some of them
I
are.
want them to stop.
Yeah, please stop. But yeah, I definitely. I mean, again, I should be able to use my own products anyway.
Yeah.
Pisses me off that I can't. Well,
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, any last words?
Had a drop off there, so I don't know. Are we out of subjects or is
Brad?
anyone got anything to add?
Turning it over to Brad.
Brad?
Oh,
Brad.
Give us a word of wisdom.
Whoa.
All attention on Brad.
We're after the 2-hour mark.
Spotlight.
Are we ending it or are these closing remarks? What-
Closing
Yeah,
remarks.
closing remarks.
You need a word of wisdom.
Hmm.
Just one word. No sentences.
Fuck.
Bitch.
But it's like fuck, bitch, ass.
Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Yeah, there you go.
Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Fucking thing sucks.
Any last words of wisdom, Ian?
No. I don't have words of,
Matthew?
in the spot.
Oh.
No.
Oh, there's so many things we could dive into, but they would take like another 2 hours. So
okay,
we'll just have to save them for another podcast.
Hell
All
yeah.
right. Well, you want to sign us off completely?
Not really, but I mean, I guess I will.
You gotta say bye to your grandmother.
What if she was around?
Oh.
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 God.
It looks like it's over.
Brad.
Damn that's right.
You know, freaking tomorrow. No, what's this? But I had to have one yourself.
You're out to your desk. You're outside.